Yes, we are here with the Gremlins again. So, welcome everyone to the 96th edition of the Home Theater Hub. Thank you for being patient with us. As you can see, Ike is not with us. Unfortunately, he's having some internet problems again. And Paul joined probably about a minute before because he seems to had some technical difficulties too. But I don't understand how you IT guys have all these technical problems every single week, and I can barely turn on the computer, and I don't seem to have any issues.
Yeah, that is funny. Well, that's mine stems from me being cheap, and I'm like, I don't want to spend money on a camera, so I
Okay,
use my phone. That's the problem I have. I'll
I see.
plug in my iPhone, and you can do what's called continuity camera, right? And sometimes the internet browser just doesn't see it, and I'm like, what the f? So I have to open up Photo Booth to let a native app, oh hey, you have an iPhone and a camera, and then I have to, but it doesn't always work. It gets kind of where I have to like close the browser and reopen it, and it gets annoying. When it works, it's like, okay, connect, boom, hit go, and I'm good to go, right?
Yeah,
But sometimes it doesn't work. So
that's an Apple product thing probably.
well, generally I would
Well, you're
expect it.
hooking to a Mac, right? You're not hooking to a
Yeah,
PC,
yeah,
so
that's
yeah.
the
So
thing. Generally, if you have a problem with a Mac, it's always a problem. It's not random.
right,
It's like, hey, no, that doesn't work. It's like, oh, well, I can do this, this, and this with other devices. But so usually the Apple products are like more limited, but they're more consistent on their what doesn't work. But apparently I found one of the use cases where this sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. And I'm like, oh my God, I
I
feel like
run into that issue with my Mac also because it's I don't have like one of those fancy docking stations like the Cal Digit or anything like that.
oh,
That
I don't have that either.
right. So I find that for how with the Apple you can only do like two display ports, right?
Yes.
And it's the USB C or the lightning bolts once they get overloaded, it's like sometimes the
Oh, the power.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes the ports on the Mac don't work. So I do have to maybe unplug one to get like because I use the OSW or OWC
Yep.
10 gig converter because I'm running the 5 gig internet.
Yep.
So sometimes I'll notice that one of the ports isn't working properly, and I'll just have to
Now, there
shut it
is
down.
that's a segue to an issue that if you use your Mac for USB devices, external devices, there's a problem upgrading to Sequoia because there's heightened security, and then you have to go in and manually like edit and add third-party devices, all your USB external, blah blah blah. In addition, though, if you upgrade to Tahoe, do not, if you use Rue or Durac or any of that, they did something where it's messed up the USB drivers, and you cannot use Durac live to do measurements if you're using like a UMIC one. Do not.
Well, that will probably you could have probably saved me about 4 hours on Saturday.
Well, Miguel has bought a new processor, and he has Direct Live, and we were playing with it, and I love Direct, by the way. Anyways, it's cool as shit. But then, and I I was like, what the hell? You upgraded? Like, you never upgrade unless you have to, right? Like I had to upgrade to get Final Cut, the new Final Cut Pro or whatever,
Right.
like to buy it. Anyway, so he upgraded, and I mean, we spent hours trying to figure out. I was like, dude, the only thing that's changed is you upgraded. And we found an article and a thing where, yeah, sure enough, it's doing something. where anything where you're measuring, especially whenever you're doing audio measurements, right? We're down to milliseconds, right? Well, the USB drivers or something is just kind of just glitchy, time sync drift enough or whatever. I'm just making stuff up, right? But long story short, it's like a USB thing to where it's not making all that time sensitive data back to the application in a way that the app's like, whoa, that's not consistent. It's like, oh, hey, we can use this to do your EQing, but we can't use this for your phase alignment. And that's the warning that, and I mean, we worked on that for who knows how long. And I mean, that Direct Live is super sensitive. Even with the Sequoia, like we had to do a couple measurements if you don't have good room treatment and it's in it or something's vibrating in the room, it'll tell you, hey man, we can't use that to phase align. There's too much background.
Too much noise. Yeah. So my thing is I was gonna redo Room Perfect. I talked to Sammy Prescott. I called him about something going on with my projector. When I switched the projector into 8K up E shift mode, I'm getting like a loud mechanical noise. And he works with these projectors all the time, obviously. And I just wanted to ask him and say, hey, I reached out to him last Friday and said, hey, when you put this on, is it something that's pretty noticeable? So, he told me it does go into like a winding noise, but he said it really shouldn't be that much more audible than the fans. But I do hear it does crank up. So what I'm going to do is I still have to put the Panamorph lens on. I'm going to see if that sound is being enhanced by the box that my projector is in, because right now I don't have anything to absorb the sound and stuff like that.
It's resonating in there.
Right. Yeah. So I want to take it down and test it. And then I'm going to put I'm actually going to put the Panamorph lens on it at that time too. It's not easy to take down at things like, 50, 60 pounds by myself trying to lift it up there. And last time I did it, I had difficulties reaching my hand behind there and pulling the cables, because the cables are they literally go right up into into the Smurf tube. So they slide very easily. So sometimes the weight of the cable pulls back a little bit. So I kind of had to secure it. And I actually damaged the port for the Ethernet, which I don't really need the Ethernet too much. It'll be IP control is basically all it's going to do. But I can. It just doesn't click in there no more is all it does. It pulled the little silver piece off. So long as I can, secure it, tape it in there or whatever. I thought about reaching out to JVC to find a repair shop just around this area to kind of repair that. But anyway, so long story short, I got to take that down and listen to that. And I called Sammy about this this whining noise. And when I talked to him, I was asking him about Room Perfect because he also has a Lindorf MP60, and he has that, plus he has a Trinoff. And I remember the last time that he was on the show that he had mentioned, with the Lindorf itself, you literally put it in the main listening position, and then you move it randomly all around the room, and they want you to reach like a 98% target rate for their measurements. And when I spoke to him, he said if you do it in a more isolated area instead of just randomly putting it, and strategically put it to where maybe it'll be hard, it'll be vertical and then it might be horizontal, but maybe you're pointing it at the first reflection point, but right around the main listening position, or maybe you're pointing it at like the reflection coming from the back speakers, so that way it starts measuring that type of stuff a little bit better. And he said he found to have really good results doing that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run Room Perfect again. I want to try it and see what happens. So I said, well, first, before I do that, let me get Rue up and going. Let me get the mic set up. And I don't know if you remember, I told you last time that I was having problems with a PC that I had, a brand new PC that I bought, to even recognize the mini DSP.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to Gene. Gene reached out and asked how I was doing and everything, and he said, "Well, why don't you use your Mac? Because the Mac works really well." So the issue that I was having, once I finally got I used a different PC and I was able to recognize the mini DSP. And the issue that I was having is that when trying to play tones through the Lindorf, it just would not send them. I couldn't send like a subtone to play, or a sub sweep to play through the Lindorf. And we tried everything. I was there for 4 hours. Him and I were trying to get this thing just to play a tone through the Lindorf back out of the HDMI port. Um, and then we figured, oh, with the Mac, you got to change your output setting on the Mac too, right? And I changed it, and it still didn't work. So I don't know. I did see some other people were having issues with Rue through some of the forums and stuff with Rue through with a Lindorf. But when we were at CDI, I asked Bob. I asked him, the guy from the Kansas City group. I asked him. I said, "Hey, have you had any problems with this?" And he was like, "No, I've never had a problem with it." So I don't know. I'm going to buy a different HDMI cord. Long story short, I was also having technical difficulties with the Mac and trying to get stuff to work. I don't know if it was Mac specific, but for sure, I was having problems with Rue and trying to get that to work because I wanted to see where I was at prior to doing any new room measurements, and I was going to try to look at the K time and everything else like that. But yeah, so that was 4 hours of my night on Friday night, or Saturday. 4 hours of my day on Saturday trying to get that to work. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what's frustrating. Whenever you get something to work and then it just halfway works, or especially when you do something, it's like, hey, I just want to do this and it'll take a couple minutes. And then you're like,
yep,
an hour into like, what? Why did this stop working? Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out today that I just thought about this too. I was going to tear apart one of my Rel subwoofers because I thought that, and I thought this before, that maybe something's a little wrong with it because it's making a weird noise, and but you know what? Now that I think about it, I mean, I was able to get the mini DSP up, and I look at the input signals. That everything is open, and it does allow the signal go through. But I don't know if the mini DSP is messing with that one sub or not. So it, and I know it's not the XLR cable, because the way that I have it hooked up, the Rels, you can daisy chain them. So the top one works perfectly fine, and the bottom one, it's getting the input signal. And if I shut it off, it plays the top one perfectly fine. So it's literally daisy chaining the same signal up to the top one. So I know it's not the XLR cable, but it's making some kind of clicking noise, like a vibrating noise almost. It sounds, it's not quite like the surround is off, but maybe the cone might be chuffing or something like that.
Noise.
Yeah, it's making some kind of noise. So I want to take it apart just to make sure there's nothing inside of there that's bouncing around, or just to see.
That could be, man. I tell you what, I think I had a clip sub that was making some weird rattling noise. And long story short, I think what ended up happening is, because sometimes they'll hot glue some of the wires and stuff, and it'll vibrate loose, and then it's vibrating. And sometimes just rotating the cabinet will pull it off of the back of the speaker and stuff like. And I'm like, oh my god, because I put in a replacement request, say, hey, this speaker's bad, and I told them all the stuff I did, and I did. I was troubleshooting it, right, but I didn't rotate it like 3 times until, because I was like, I drug it over, tested it, and then it did its issue like the whole time I was videoing, right? I was like, hey, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, man, this thing's heavy. So I rolled it on its side, and I think I put like furniture sliders on it, and I pushed it over, and then I rolled it upside down, and then got it into position, and didn't even realize it until I got the new one. And I was like, okay, let's test these two. And the old one didn't even I was like, what the hell? I was
Yeah.
like, God bless it.
Yeah,
Like,
and the same thing happened. Chuck was on his way over, and I had all my subs. Chuck, speaking of Chuck, what's going on, Chuck? Chuck was coming over the house, and I had all my subs unhooked. He was my first demo, and I plugged the sub in. It's the same exact sub. I plugged the sub in, and I told him, when he got here, one of my subs was making a weird noise, so I moved it, plugged all the stuff in, and I think by moving it some more, because I was just testing some demos and stuff. By moving it some more, the issue went away. So you may be right. That's why I was thinking about taking a driver off and seeing what's going on inside of there.
just looking in there and seeing. Yeah, sometimes that's all it is something super simple. Man, where the hell is the chat for your channel over here? I don't even see it. It's not popping up for me. And I'm like, what the heck?
Comments? What are you in?
The comments. Like, in there.
You got to stretch your screen out wider, probably.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Okay, that's probably what it is. Join the conversation. I don't know how to do that. It's being weird on me. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, I guess because my screen is so large, I have to make the thing super, super, super large.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, dude, usually it's right there. It was a little bitty gray box off to the side. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, Jesus, man, what the hell's going on? I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties here today. I can't even use YouTube.
So now that we bored everybody with our stories.
Yeah, no kidding. With our technical difficulties. Cheers. I'm drinking the same beer.
Great fizz jizz.
Yeah, there you go. Grape's a good flavor, man.
Great it's called grape fizz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I added the jizz on the end.
Yeah, I figured that.
No, I'm not drinking any alcohol today. I'm actually taking some antibiotics. I got the Barry White going on right now because man, my week. Friday afternoon. No, what day did I tell you that I mailed the stuff out for the shirts? Speaking of shirts, show them your shirt, Paul.
Oh yeah. Let me model my shirt here. So how do we like that?
That looks good, man.
Let me act like I work out. Yeah, look at that.
The green one looks good. I got the red one. I don't think the red one works as good as the green, because you don't the seats. You really don't see the seats that well on the red one.
Well, you don't see them really that well on this one either. But I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those colors that contrasts with the white that looks really cool.
So C Big says he loves the green. Yeah, I like the green one too.
I like the material.
Yeah, it's awesome.
These are way cooler than
this is like the Sport Tech, the breathable material, like the
Under Armour version.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. No, it's definitely nice. I like it too. But so I think I mailed those out Monday, right? Yeah, so Monday afternoon.
So I have to ask, is this I got a FedEx package delivered
by UPS. Yes.
I'm like, did Don put it in a FedEx package just to spite UPS?
No. So what happened was I went there the week prior and I asked the lady for some boxes. So she gave it was like one of those U-Pack stores to where I live, one of those like places that does the USPS. They do FedEx. They do all the different types of shipping, right? It's just one of those stores. And I asked her for some boxes because I knew I needed to mail it out. My wife has a post office box there for her medical office, and the lady just hands me these FedEx boxes. So I was like, okay, well, these two should work. So I do it, and then I go to take it up there, and the first box which was Ike's box. To get it there on a day later than you were going to get it, it was like $64 through FedEx. And then I was like, well, he said, well, what I can do is I can measure the box and we can shop it. And he's like, $24 through UPS. And I'm like, are they going to take it in that? Are they going to take it in the FedEx box? He said, they don't give a shit what you put it in. They'll take your business for sure. I'm like, okay, done.
I knew. I was like, I guarantee you Don put it in a FedEx box. I don't know why. I figured maybe it was from, your little business that you ran for a while from your
Yeah.
home. And I was like, hey, a box is a box, bro. So
Yeah.
I get it. But
No, it was a third of the cost to get it there earlier. I'm like, this is a no-brainer,
yeah. That's
I'm gonna
why.
pay-
Well, when I saw the FedEx box, I was like, God damn, somebody's got some dough, bro. FedEx, they're expensive. Like, geez. Unless you have a business account. If you have a business
if you got a business account,
then it's like a tenth of the cost, but you have to, it's business. So there's a whole different thing going on there. Anyway, so what's new in the home theater? I besides messing with Durac, I do like Durac. Man, that's some amazing stuff. I would assume that's like on par with like your Room Perfect or whatever. It does phase correction as well, but it's very finicky on the measurement. And there was a couple things, at least in the Onkyo that we had, that was very confusing. Because basically you can do Dirac, you do all these measurements, you can do like 13 is their default, but you can do like 9 or 1 or whatever you want, and then just click continue and say, hey, I want to make a profile. But obviously the more measurements, the better, right? I mean, in a way, right? You can also do too many measurements. But we did like a 13 measurement main, like seating area, like center of the couch, like around that bubble. And then you can, in this one, you have slots 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just learning this just to be able to even talk about it. Because at first you just didn't know. There's all these, like, there's a crossover section off, slot 1, 2, 3. There's EQ off, 1, 2, 3. There's all these things, right? But apparently, at least in this particular processor, there's also Durac Live base control or whatever, what would you would think is the extra fancy extra cost base control. Well, apparently when you have Durac Live and you have these 3 different configurations that you exported to it, like whatever curve you matched, you have to leave Durac Live base control on, because that's really just saying, hey, let Durac control it. Whether you just have the basic base management or the super fancy one, leave that on. Because if you don't, what happens is whenever you go, hey, I want to do memory 1 or slot 1, it goes into that crossover section and says, oh, do you want to let Durac do what you had programmed? Or if you have that turned off, it'll whatever manually you have set in that slot. That'll still do the like PEQ and do the phase alignment, but it's going to change the crossover and stuff depending on what you have set in there if you don't manually set it. But the way the button is labeled, it's like, oh, we don't even have that. I mean, I had to do like a bunch of measurements just to validate, like, what is this really doing? And I'm like, oh, even though it says Durac Live base control, the fancy extra stuff, it's really just, hey, do you want Durac to control this? Whether you have the basic crossover functionality or the like 5 bass subwoofer control situation going on. But that was interesting. And then whenever you turn it to off, right? Like if you like each input, you can have its own Durac. On this one, you can only have 3. You can have a different Durac setting for each HDMI input. And then that's going to correlate, like if you say, hey, I don't want Durac at all, I would just want 2 speakers. I have this particular thing, 2 speakers. I don't want any crossover, nothing. I just want the 2 speakers. I don't want subs, nothing. You in that one, you would just say, hey, if that's what you prefer, just Durac off, right? So then it would go to that crossover section, and if you were using a subwoofer, you would want to set a crossover, but if not, you would say, hey, full range. So it kind of matched, either let it do what Durac has programmed, or it's like an override. But in the off position, you have to make sure you set that to something. Otherwise, you may, if you're not using a subwoofer or something, you'll have like a full range speaker that you're cutting off at like 100 hertz or 80 hertz and not have any low end bass. But there's all kinds of settings in those things. But it's cool. Hey, Abe, what's going on, man?
All right, what's happening, guys?
What's going on, Abe? I'm dying over here. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. But...
Yeah. I also have some other interesting news. So, Plex. They now are, and this has always been the case, right? You know how a lot of Plex people are all like, oh, 100% Plex all day, every day, right? Plex is now doing a thing to where they're going to, I think, force, which I think they kind of did already, but I don't know the full story. I haven't read the article. I just got some snippets from other people, but basically they're doing it to where they're controlling all access to servers through them. So they're proxying through their server instead of just like doing a redirect and stuff like that. So it's going to be where it's like, hey, at any time they could stop.
Cut your shit.
Yeah, stop. Well, and here's the thing, and this is what I my thought on all the turmoil that's been, in case people didn't know, like, certain people have downloaded a thing on Kaleidoscape and then it disappeared, right? And they're like, right. Wait, they can delete it? Yeah, Sherlock. If you believe for one damn minute a company's not going to delete all the content if a film studio says, hey, we're going to sue you for $20 billion unless you delete all this stuff. I'm sorry, you lost all that. Now, they gave them their money back, so, whatever. But that still raises the whole, hey, if you got a business, hey, you got to forcefully delete all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, whatever. Hey, that's the thing, right? But just like the whole reason, like Plex users are doing it because, hey, I can watch this from anywhere, right? Then cut that off at any time.
Right.
But the difference is, people are like, oh no, I'm scared. Dude, if you're doing Plex, you're already doing your own community. At this point, you just go to the next annoying software. Now, granted, that's still some time, right? It's still time. So, hey, I got to set up a new application and maybe a VPN and do some stuff like to watch my stuff remotely, right? Where, okay, well, what about the Kscape users if they disappear? Okay, they're going to be an Lscape instead of a K. It's going to be the next one. It's going to be Lscape, and if you got the money, just pay them. It's it's just that all. It's one of those things, like it's just funny because it's like, no, this is all in the digital world, man.
Well, you know what I think the reason for that is?
What's that?
Because eventually, I think that Plex, once discs slow down, which they've already dramatically slowed down, right? Speaking of discs, please support. Nightmare on Elm Street, man, 4K collection, man.
I saw that. They actually have that at Walmart, and I was like, oh, if I was into horror movies, I would buy that.
So yeah, I picked that up. Or I did the early pre-order on Amazon. So yeah. I wanted the Steelbook edition of that, but I didn't get there fast enough. But what I was going to say is about Plex is, I think that once the physical media gets, yes, it's still going to be made, but it's becoming harder and harder to get, and it's becoming more and more expensive to get. So, because what's happening is people are buying these discs and they're reselling them. They're selling out of the discs. It's like you go to Target nowadays. Have you walked into Target?
Target they don't sell physical media anymore.
Right. I walked into Target. It's October, right?
Yeah.
It's Halloween time. They don't want to stock shit on their shelves. I walked into Target over the weekend, 30% off all Halloween shit already. Right? They don't want to keep that stuff on the shelf. Same thing with the discs, right? They don't want stuff just sitting around collecting dust. They want to move the product. Same thing with Walmart, same thing with Best Buy, same thing with everybody, right? So my feeling is that Plex is gearing up for some type of streaming type of thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's known.
And if they're going to control the whole system, they're going to try to start locking this down.
No, it's they've already moved that way one step closer. That's the way they're doing it now, right? It's
yeah, but remember Redbox tried to stream too, and look where that got them.
Yeah, but I mean, Redbox is. I mean, it's the only route that once you can't rip your own movies no more because you can't get them.
Yeah.
Then
that's what they want. Yeah.
It's going to become a problem. Yes, I know there's still piracy out there, and there's still tons of ways to get.
That's the problem. That's the problem that they're running into, right?
Right. Exactly.
They will run into. It won't even be hardcore pirates out there. They've never paid, right? So that's never a thing. They're not getting caught. They never will get caught. Those guys are girls, people, whatever. They're on a whole different realm, right? They're getting paid by the FBI, and they're getting paid to be as good as they are, right? That's always going to be there. The issue is if you make it super difficult to consume, or if people have to chase, the content that they thought they had, people eventually get fed up with it, and your piracy will become easier than going to, it's like, hey, do I pay 5 different, subscriptions at $400 a month? Or do I just pay this $50 a month to have some high school, super nerd, get me whatever I want, on the download? And what they're going to do, whatever's easier, right? I mean, in the end, and that's what killed, like, people don't realize that's what killed, like, Napster. It wasn't that they got caught. It was all of a sudden people were like, hey, for $3 a month, you can listen to any song you want. People were like, well, wait a minute. That's way easier than searching all these groups and
and
it was easier.
Taking up your disk space too, right?
And it took years, and it's just now starting to get, like, kind of annoying to people because they're starting to do, like, AI songs in the middle of your playlist. And all this where they own and get the totality of that money. It's all that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, it's a whole turmoil thing. But physical media will not go away. There's still records. I saw a VHS tape on the friggin' shelf 2 days ago. I was like, what? Hey, what? I didn't even know VHS.
Like, where are you at the library?
No, I was at Walmart. I was like, what?
No
Are
way.
they bringing that back too? Like, get out of here, man. Like, come on.
No way.
I don't know if it was like.
So just want to say before we continue, say hi to everybody in the chat. We got C-Big.
For sure.
We got Nelson. Thank you guys for joining. Derek back in. Thank you. Oprah. Appreciate you.
Oprah.
And John, appreciate you. And one of our other listeners, Mr. Abe. Mr. Abe joining us live for a second week in a row. Appreciate you for joining us.
I felt bad because I was trying to get Glenn to come on, but then he had kind of a thing and he had to attend to, and I had forgot to tell you about it yesterday. And I was like,
It's all
so
good, man. It's all good.
but he definitely, when next availability we could put him on, I think it'd be great because he has some really good stories about just talking about theater and theater art and kind of the art of design to a lot of the theaters that he helped. He was a part of the artistic vision behind some of those theaters we did, and a lot of other theaters that he worked on independently for other theater design companies and things of that nature.
We never let Don say who's actually coming because every time he actually says the name, and now it's like, no, you can't even say that we have a guest. Like,
Yeah, that was
I got another guest today. Look at this.
Oh, you got that? All right.
It arrived today. So
Yeah.
Abe was generous enough to send me a sample of the Fabric Track system. So I haven't opened this up yet. I'm going to try to open it up and show a couple of these here.
Yeah, it's kind of a variety pack that this is a company called Track Daddy, which is very similar to Fabric Mate and the other ones, but that was the one that I found that had a nice assortment of profiles because I just wanted to kind of show a variety of the different types of profiles so that, whether we get it directly from Track Daddy or Fabric Mate or Acoustical, but at least we could, figure out what's going to be the profile that we want. And so this kit will kind of show you all the different parts and pieces that you can get.
I'm trying to figure out how to open the damn thing.
I taped the hell out of it. So but
it's
there's
like
lots
of shoebox, but it's not.
No, it should be like a little, just lid.
Did not to send anything childproof to him, right?
I don't have a knife around me, so it's like I'm trying to use
I didn't want it to burst, fly open on parts and pieces go everywhere.
Yeah.
Like 5 rolls of duct tape. There you go.
Thanks, Don. Just wrap like people do with the Christmas presents,
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done the big box.
I'll have to go grab a knife because I can't
box, and made the wrapping like more and more difficult. Like the outs, real loose, and then every seam was taped. Then it looked easier, but then it was duct tape wrap.
I don't have a knife around me, but we'll take a look at that very shortly.
You don't have anything sharp there?
Yeah, use a pen or.
I tried to. Let me go grab a knife. Hold on.
Yeah, man. So
you think these guys would come prepared for a fucking show, right?
Yeah. Well,
So where's Mr. Ike tonight?
He's having more technical difficulty than the rest of us. So.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They blocked him.
Yeah. I was glad I could make tonight, but I'm getting ready for going to Arkansas to a commissioning of a theater that we've been working on for about 3 years, and so we're going to actually go see this thing get turned on and lit up. We have JBL going out there to do the calibration, and so I'm going to watch them, see how they calibrate this monster we got over there. So hopefully next Thursday.
Years. Is this Don's theater? You live in Florida.
No, we were just waiting for the house to get built. I mean, it was just.
The whole house got
so,
built in the time that Don.
Yeah.
Built. Oh, okay.
Well,
so you built the theater, then you built the house around.
Yeah. No, this is exciting. I'm excited about it. This is a huge one for us. It's like 15 seats. Room's like 32 feet long by 22 feet wide by 13 foot high. That's just insane.
Oh, look at this. We're starting off with some acoustical material that goes
your infill.
Behind the fabric. So
that's a lot of stuff going on there.
They'll have 1 inch, 2 inch, and
all right. Well, hey, we're gonna bring Nelson on. Might as well more the merrier here.
What's going on, Nelson?
Hey, how you doing?
So we got 1 inch thickness on the acoustic materials here.
Acoustic material. Heck
and this is the
so that's the thumb herder, the pressure.
Show the side profile so you can see that'd be the track detail, but on the short end. On the short end,
Show it long length,
yeah,
not
long
tall.
at the edge of it.
Yeah, the other way.
The
Point it at us like you're trying to stab us with the
there
there
you go.
you
There you go.
go.
And then,
Yeah, man. Like I don't know how to say it.
there you go.
Like-
and then turn it 90 degrees. Well, no, just to be like, like a clock.
The camera's not adjusted.
Oh, okay, no problem. Anyway, so
Yeah,
that's kind of like that's the track profile. So actually, that long piece you're actually holding with your thumb, that was what would be nailed to the
it'll
track.
look like this on the wall or like this.
Yeah, and then the fabric.
It'll be facing you.
Yeah.
And then the fabric will tuck in.
We'll tuck in. We'll
There's
actually
some
we'll go
jaws.
across that and then go in there.
Yeah, there's some jaws in there.
Yeah.
Ah,
tuck
okay,
that fabric in
okay. I thought you had a separate piece that.
Yeah. So actually, where your the infield would be to the inside of that.
There's a big square one too. So
Yeah.
this camera, it's got the autofocus on, so it's like
Yeah.
screwing up pretty bad. Let me see if I can
Yeah, that's
adjust.
kind of.
Let me adjust it to
So
auto.
that, like
real
that
quick.
one, that one you would attach to the side. The fabric would go across the underside of that and tuck in to the back side of it, so you wouldn't see the fabric when it would go in. When it you'd barely see the tiny edge.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you would just barely see where they're.
Yeah, where it's going in.
So I guess I'm.
So they're different profiles for different application. Whether it's on an end, whether it's at a middle, whether.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay, for instance, that's a joint. That right there is a
Yeah.
T joint. So that would be where one panel meets the next panel. So imagine a whole bunch of vertical panels. That would be the seam
Gotcha.
that would
So it
transition.
looked like this.
Yeah,
Now,
correct.
so you put the two different fabrics in there together.
In there together. So
Okay,
they would go across the top of that end. So
Okay.
you wouldn't see the track at all. Obviously, once you poke it into that middle.
So that's not as bad. So you do that where there's like multiple seams.
Well, it's like that one we use all the time for vertical panels. So you have a bunch of
Gotcha.
vertical panels. So you'd have those vertical seams, and then that.
So this one has a little bit more depth to it too. So this is like a 1 inch
That's a 1 inch.
compared to maybe a 1/4 inch. You know,
Right. So like you say, if you have to do it on a door, that would be like on a wall. And remember, then you can put that on blocking, which is what you're going to do in some
Right.
applications. Put that on blocking.
oh, here we go. Now we're getting into the big daddies.
Yeah, that's 2 inch track right there.
Yeah, so you take that and then you put this,
You'd put
Yeah.
there like
put
that.
this on your wall.
Whether it's
Yeah.
whatever your
Absorption or diffusion.
absorption
Yeah.
or diffusion, and then the fabric will just come across that and tuck right into that track. And they make it in white and black. Just depends on.
The material. Yeah,
Material.
depends on the material and how see-through it is, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah, so this is just a variety of just parts and pieces, just so for
Yeah.
most of it done is to see what works in his theater of what profiles we're gonna.
Yeah, this is everything that's. I mean, there's a lot of tracks in here.
Yeah,
So some of them are like 45s too, which is pretty cool.
yeah, and just to play with them, just get a piece of fabric and kind of poke it in and hold it just so you can kind of see a detail of how it's going to interact.
Yeah, see, that's like a 45 tuck in. So you'll create a nice beveled edge on both sides. Yeah, I'm interested to play around with this and see what it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it's something to kind of get the idea started of like what you're thinking of, like what would it look like against some of the wall points that you have.
Other than the fact that I couldn't open the damn box, we're gonna
Right.
see how the track goes.
Yeah, you expect him to work that, and he couldn't get the box open. I feel for this room. It might be another 2 years just for that. It's like, well, it took me 8 months to open the box.
What's going on, Nelson? Man, how you been?
Man, I'm doing all right. All right, man. How you
Right.
guys doing?
Glad you joined us today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
Just did a little upgrade. Well, I guess a backward upgrade on my home theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
This-
I
By the
I
way, this
changed.
is an unexpected surprise. So thank you for joining this.
Ah,
This is truly what I want the show to be. For those of you that have the link, come on and tell us what you got going on in your theater for sure. Thank you for
yeah,
joining us.
yeah. So I upgraded my front speakers, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I still stuck with my Vandersteins, but I bought an older model, Model Fives, which were the top of the line model, a few years back. They were a little beat up, but I refinished them and I got them going. They look pretty good.
Oh really? You got some pictures, or you able to show us what they look like after you?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can switch this over. The dots, right, to do the
Yeah.
camera.
3 little dots and all
Yeah.
this weird
Yeah.
stuff.
3 little dots.
Back
Yep, rear
back
facing.
camera. Yeah. Oh, there you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah. So Oh, sorry. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
So these are the Vandersteen fives. Um, they're a floor standing speaker.
Wow.
Let me take off the grill so you can see the drivers. Hold on.
I always like that black and gray color scheme in the theater. It looks nice. Like your carpet.
Oh, thanks. So
Oh, wow.
that's the
Oh,
yeah. I got a good deal on them. This woman, unfortunately her husband has that Parkinson disease. He was
Oh yeah.
he was a big time listener. He used to like to listen to music. Um, and then it had damage here, on the wood, and I put I got like this vinyl wrapping, and I wrapped them with vinyl, but it has like a wood. It's hard to see, but it has like a wood grain finish. Um, so these they're a little older than the ones I have. The ones I have are a few years old. Um, but they go down to 23 hertz. So
Oh
the
wow.
bass, yeah,
Dang.
the bass is really really good just on their own.
So the bottom is a bass cabinet, I assume.
Yeah, it's a powered subwoofer.
Okay, I was gonna say there's no way that just that front is going down to 23 hertz. I was like, I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it's hard to see. But there's a subwoofer. It's got two 12-inch subs built in.
Mm,
You
dang.
know,
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
wow.
yeah. So what I normally do is I just listen to my music. When I listen to the music, I just listen to them with just the speakers themselves.
Just like pure. What processor do you have again?
I have the Marantz, the AV10.
Yeah, so you can get that down to like pure direct mode, right?
Yeah.
Just listening
Well,
to them.
I have a separate preamp, a stereo preamp that I listen to my music with. That also has like a theater bypass on it.
Okay.
So when I listen to music, I use it's an air preamp and an air amp that I listen to for 2 channel. And then the AV10 is basically just for movies, or if I feel like at any point, if I feel like listening to music in surround, which is very rare.
Man, I'm on the website here looking at the I guess they don't make the Model 5s anymore, right?
No,
So
the Model 5s, no, they don't make anymore, but they make the replacement were I believe the 9s.
they have 7s on there.
Yeah, the 7s and the Kentos, I think they are. Let me switch this back to the front camera. All right, cool.
So let me pull those 7s
Awesome.
I have pictures, but I don't know if I could send them to
up. So
you.
those 7s, can you guys see that? Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, I can see it.
So those there's the 2 drivers on the side. Look at that candy red, man. Man, that is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on the subwoofers on the side on that previous picture?
I can try to. It's like
zoom your.
See
Man,
when Richard Vanderstein, can you guys see me? Because I can't see you guys.
yeah, we can
Okay.
see.
you're off to the side over here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. You're on.
When Richard Vanderstein started in 1977 is when he started this, making speakers. His thing was to get good quality audio at an acceptable, nice price, and he did it with the two C's, which were at that point in the 80s and 90s were like $1,200 to $1,400. And that would get you into a pair of Vandersteens. So that's when I got into Vanderstein.
Ooh, look at that
That's-
price tag.
Yeah, those price tags are just outrageous,
Woo.
for their new stuff, Even the
Like Wilson prices.
like Wilson Audio, the Wilson pups, but
Yeah.
in order really to get into like that type of speaker now, I mean, it's just too expensive. You got to go with the used product or a few years old.
Well, yeah. Well,
know,
I mean,
Frequency response on the 7s is 22 hertz.
someone's buying them new if they're making them.
It takes some
Yeah.
power to drive them too. 80,
Yeah.
they're only 80 to 85 dB sensitive, so you gotta have some power. behind it.
They assume if if you got the dough to spend $100,000 on a speaker, you can buy some amps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, those things look amazing. Gosh. So you did a backward upgrade.
A backward upgrade because they're
Yeah,
older. They're older than the speakers I have, but my speakers, they sound great. The Trio CT sounded great. What they lacked was with the bass a little bit, and I don't know. I feel like for music, a speaker that does well with bass, overall, I feel just sounds better for music.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you can do it with subwoofers.
Yeah.
There's nothing to me, there's nothing like having a full range speaker that gives you, that full frequency response. It just sounds really musical to me. It sounds like a big speaker now, in comparison to what I had before.
So do you run them full range when you're doing home theater?
No, I cross them over.
Okay.
I cross them over at 80.
All right.
Because I just feel like for movies you need, because low frequency effects on movies, it's just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want that rumbling effect, that it's going to give your stomach a massage, then you got to have subs.
Yeah.
Can't
No,
go
for
through.
sure. Yeah. I mean, look, I think you can definitely play around with it and drop that crossover point a little bit further down. Maybe not 22, but maybe into the 50s or upper 60s to try to blend them, try to blend them a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I have right now my fronts are at 60 hertz right now.
there you
actually.
go. See?
Yeah. And then everything else is at 80. So it seems to sound good. I had Dan. I don't know if you know Dan Carpenter.
I've heard the name before for sure.
Yeah, I met him through Brightside, but he's been on your show too.
Mhm.
He doesn't live too far from me, so he came over to take a listen. He really liked the fives.
Very
the sound
nice.
quality was good. So
Yeah, man. They look sweet for sure. And
yeah.
you picked them up on a flash sale, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, they originally were, I think, $10,000. That's the speaker,
Right.
and they're a few years old already. I think they're like 8 years old, 9 years old, and I got them for like $2,800, man.
Man, that's a
Yeah.
steal.
Yeah.
So it's like
one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day. It was a lady talking about her purses. It says, "My only fear when I die is that my husband will sell my purses for the amount that I told them they cost. Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think the same thing about my stereo equipment.
me
right?
too, man. Me too.
You
Yeah.
know?
All the time, and I have collectibles too, so I'm like, man, I got to tell my son, man, just get the right price for it when I drop.
Yeah, I think the same thing about my equipment here.
Yeah.
So speaking of equipment, we got a little clap back today. I don't know if you guys saw, but JVC put a little clap back announcement out.
Oh no.
Yeah, it came directly to my email. So
really?
Like,
at Cedia, there was a demo, and look, I'm not going to bash anybody here because I think it was just a pure mistake. But at Cedia, there was an Epson shootout for the 7000 versus the other projectors, and Paul and I kind of made mention to this, that we didn't think that it was probably done right.
I've seen enough JVCs to know. I don't know if that's the default. I mean, maybe
yeah.
it is, but did you do all the recommended default things? Right? That's all I'm saying. It's like I don't know. It's one of those things. It's confirmation bias. I think whenever we were on the AVS, it was the same thing. It's like, look, it's not belittling someone
Right.
or making fun of someone. It's just one of those things. Even if you are like, okay, I'll give an example, right? The first theater projector shootout locally that I went to here, they were comparing some stuff, right? And then they compared like the Epson and the JVC, right? Now, when they did that, a lot of people were picking the Epson and they were like, wait, what? There's no way. Well, because of that, they took the time to figure out what they had wrong with the JVC.
Right.
So just think of that bias, right? Where, because even if and whenever because I know the JVC is 1,000 times better at black levels, right? But in the comparison, they had a PC connected to it, and they were, almost making fun of the black levels of the 6050 UB, which is like the ultra black. But if you're connected it to a PC, it negotiates the EDID 0 to 255. But if you're playing a movie, that's not how that works. It's 15 to 235. So basically, you're missing the first 16 levels of black. You're not giving it information. So basically, you've washed out all the gray. You have to manually set that. Now, someone that knows an Epson would be like, no. The black levels are supposed to be better than that. They're not as good as that, but they're 10 times better than what you're showing in this comparison.
Yeah.
And
Derek's spilling my tea over here.
Oh, everybody's butt hurt. And I'm like, I'm not butt hurt. I'm just letting you know that's an unfair comparison because that's a biased, that's an unconscious bias because you didn't spend the time to figure out, is this really how bad this is supposed to look? Same thing with this article, right?
Yeah, no. So what happened was when I was at, and look, I'm not going to discredit JVC, and I'm not discrediting Epson because look, I am a JVC dealer, and I also am applying to be an Epson dealer. So before we even dive into this, I want to let you know that I thought that the Epson 7000 projector was a phenomenal projector, and I will preface this conversation right away that I seeing it in the Cricks room and seeing it there at the shootout without even looking to the left of whatever projector they were putting up, because I knew that something was wrong with the test right away when we saw this.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to the comparison. I was just solely looking at the actual JVC and how it was performing. Right. And I even asked the guy, "Hey, did we calibrate these? Did we at least get the white points right? Did we at least do any type of calibration?" And I was told no, flat out. It was just straight out of the box, and that's exactly what JVC's saying here. That the Epson demonstration, the presenter said it was what out of the box would be, which was not true. So they found that somebody had gone in and messed with some of the settings on the JVC, and then they had to they did reset, kind of like Derek was saying. They actually went back the other days and they fixed it, but the fact of the matter is it was shown like that, and it was shown that it was in my eyes, it was never a fair fight, because look, if I want to see two monsters, two $30,000 projectors go at it, there's a reason there's a delta, right? There's a reason that we calibrate to a certain point. I want both of those projectors to be calibrated to the nines and to the fullest capabilities. And then look, I know that 98% of the people listening to this, they're not going to calibrate nothing, right? Yeah. But if I want to see what the projector can do, if it can reach whatever it's claiming to be, Rec 2020 or 703, whatever it's claiming that it can do, I want to see it at its full potential. And I want to see that, okay, this Epson is maxed out. This is what it's going to do on brightness. This is where it's going to achieve in the black levels. It's going to be a delta of 3 or less that we can see with our eyes, right? Because anything over a 3 is where we start seeing the difference. And I want to see the JVC right next to it, just shining the same way, right? Is it going to be? Are we going to get the same delta as we were getting on the Epson with the lumens being at 6,000? Are we going to get that off of the JVC with the lumens being at 3,500 or whatever it's going to calibrate out to? I want to see them perform their absolute best and then make my decision there. That's just my thoughts of it. But yeah, so this was surprising news to come out. I mean, literally JVC felt that it was necessary for them to send this out, and this is actually on their JVC consumer website, that there was a misreputation showed at a recent shootout. So go to their website.
What shootout was it?
So basically it was at Cedia is where it was.
The Cedia one? No, I thought this was a different one.
I'm sorry.
I thought this was at a different location that they were.
No, this was from what I heard. This happened at Cedia. I didn't want to bring it up into
question. Are they saying that? Reading here, it says fiction. So they're saying that someone in the show said all of these are just as they come out of the box, so that you can see what all these projectors look like just out of the box. But that wasn't true. That they were that all of them were calibrated, which would.
Somebody went in and messed with settings, and when they went in and did that, it wound up taking HDR frame adapt mode out. It wound up taking the different functions out that actually come out of the box.
Actually, I kind of like to see both. I'd like to see a comparison of out of the box, and do a round of just checking it out, and then see it. Then say, okay, calibrate it to the 9. Calibrate it, and then go back and do like it'd be nice to go there, do a round, and just like put. Rank them their out of the box look, and then let them calibrate it and go back again and see if that same projector that you liked out of the box is still making the cut after they've done, took every ounce of performance out of it. I mean, that might be a cool, thing, kind of a A/B comparison between out the box and a full calibration.
And that's a thing that it's like, I don't understand how some of these, it's like, you got to be very careful in this, because that's something like this is more reputation damaging, because let's just face it, the first knee-jerk reaction is they did this on purpose, right? Where, I've seen tons of JVCs. I was like, that's not how
Right.
any JVC I've ever seen looks. It's way better than that. Which makes me question, well, God, did they even turn down the brightness? But
Yeah.
I've also seen enough JVCs to know their brightness level. So I was literally, like you said, we weren't even looking at the comparison. We were more like, damn, it's really bright. Like, damn, for the price,
Right.
that is crazy, dude. It's like, it's like,
Yeah.
dang, man, like that's the Paul projector right there, because I'm an Epson fan, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I also know what JVC looks like, and they forget you can go to 10 other rooms and see a JVC that
Right.
looks 10 times better than that.
Yeah,
It's
because I
like,
mean,
out of the box versus whatever we're gonna call this, calibrated.
Yeah.
This looks so no one would ever just do out of the box. So
Yeah.
you know what I
I
mean?
mean,
It's
I
that
think it's
type of thing.
gotten to a point with these projectors though that either one that you go with, Sony, JVC, Epson, you're gonna get a good projector because they're all pretty good at this point,
Yeah.
But I remember when I first came into the digital world because I had a CRT projector. I had a Sony G70 CRT projector, which was 7-inch CRT tubes. And when I had to go over to digital projector, one of the main things that I wanted was good black level. And then JVC at that point, it was a home theater cruise that I went on to through the AVS forum.
Mm.
And they had just introduced the JVC RS2, which had 20,001 contrast ratio. And I finally felt that the black level on the JVCs were on par, not as good as the CRT, but getting very close. And then I decided to go digital at that point. And I never stopped getting a JVC. I did try a Sony projector at one point, and it was good, but just not the black levels that the JVC gave. But that's because I'm coming from CRT,
yeah.
But now, even like I think like the Epson or the Sony, I think that their black levels at this point are probably better than even CRT was back in the day.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
look, they're a phenomenal projector. I was just showing a picture here of the N900. I sat through their demo at Cedia. I mean, and the project. I was telling them there, I'm like, look, I got the NZ8, and my with a Lumigen in line looks nothing compared to what it was doing just with the frame adapt there.
Mhm.
And after talking to Jim from Lumigen and getting some settings worked out, I'm super happy with the JVC. But like I said, prior to even going into this, I'm not taking a damn thing away from that Epson, because I tell you what,
No.
that Epson, I'm sitting there looking at that Epson, throwing 10,000 lumens, right? And then we go into a Christie room,
Mm.
and I'm looking at, okay, $200,000 Christie or whatever it was, and a $30,000 Epson, right? And I'm like, I can take this Epson all day long and be
Now,
super happy.
now that would depend also on the screen size, right? So
Yeah.
probably that Christie, if you do like a huge screen, will give you the output
mean,
that
You're gonna need 300. You're gonna need 300-inch screen, But
Yeah.
if we're talking, I mean, most people aren't going to
Well,
go over
and
180,
that-
200 inches in their house.
That's one of the things, right? That whenever you go to some of these shootouts, it's like, man, it's like, who cares about a phone display that's one's 4K and one's 20K?
Mhm.
Dude, it's 4 inches in diameter or width. Like, you can't see 20K. Yeah, that's a better display, but you can't see that no matter how close you get to it. You could take a magnifying glass and you're not going to be able to. And that's kind of misrepresentation of some of these $400,000 projectors. But it's who's going to throw that show on? Hey, here's a 300-inch screen. Compare that to, like, I know for a fact, if I took my projector and put that on a 300-inch screen, dude,
Right. Same with mine. Mine's going to look like booty, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough lumen output at 2,500 lumens to shine. The
When I
light
got
up
into
the screen.
CRT projector, they didn't have the output. So Joe Kane told me, if you get a CRT projector, Nelson, and you use 7-inch tubes, you don't want to go beyond 90 inches on the screen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can't go over 90 because it's not going to be bright enough.
I remember doing CRT back in the old days too. Yeah, we used to. If you wanted to go at least 100-inch, you were looking at Sony G90.
Yeah, you had to get the G90. Yep.
Yeah. And I installed we installed quite a few of those Volkswagens from the ceiling.
Yeah. Now, that's what I'm saying. So
those things were huge. They were huge. You needed almost like 4 people to hang them up. You had to brace the ceiling. You had to brace the ceiling pretty significantly for these things to mount. And
it was like a motor engine above my head, but it was okay because I had a big screen,
Yeah, it was. So I did quite a few. That was the good old days, man. That was some crazy stuff, and that was just to get 480p.
Right.
We'd had we had a $10,000 Dwin line doubler LD2. I remember that.
That's right. And the Ferrugias, remember?
And then just to get from 480 to 480p,
right?
You paid $10,000 for just that piece of gear.
Yeah.
That was it was great. And then one guy from Sony used to go around the country and calibrate. I forgot his name.
Yeah. I was one of the first to get. I had a Sony CRT. It was professional display. It was a 3230. It looked like a cube. And I remember getting in contact at that point with Joe Kane, and he recommended Kevin Miller and Mike Levy to do the calibration. And at that time, they used to use an optical comparator. It was a box, right, with a box that had like a gray image inside that you would look into to try to get your grayscale correct.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that one.
They didn't even use, they didn't use generators or analyzers or anything like that. That's what they used, but that's in the beginning of calibration.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from Christy here either, because look, my thoughts. I preferred the Christy projector that was not the Eclipse. That was like the 400,000, but I preferred the Christy commercial projector, which had the VDR technology. I preferred that over the actual the Eclipse. And I think I told this story last week that I was so impressed with it that I walked out. And I apologize. I walked out to an acoustician, Matthew Pose, and I'm like, "What the hell kind of projector was that? That projector is awesome," And he had calibrated the room. I didn't mention anything about the room sounded amazing too. But I was so impressed with that projector that It was.
It's really about use case, right? That's what it was.
Correct. Yeah. So
it really is.
What screen size were they using? Do you know?
I think 180.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was either 180 or 160, something like that. But I mean, look, the Epson itself for the price, all day long. I mean, it just really, really did well. And in my use case, the thing that I would probably, and I think I mentioned this for the Epson, the outside scene movies, right? Not the dark stuff that you're going to be watching, like 1917 when they're in the cave, or any of the Game of Thrones stuff. Get your JVC for those dark movies, but anything outside, sports. Any type of
high-end OLED if you're talking Game of Thrones, mid-level 1, like really, like
right.
You're just pissing people off at that point. Like,
look, if you enjoy sports all day, man, you could just play that with any type of ambient light around you. 10,000 lumens, man, please.
So what is it? What do they charge for that projector? What is it retail for?
So that one's like 30 grand, but I think you can get away with the middle model that's 6,000 lumens, and that would be your sweet spot.
And do you have to get a separate lens for that one too?
You do,
Yeah.
but the lenses are like
$2,000 to $3,000, yeah,
$2,000 to
something like that.
$3,500.
You know what? And now with the pricing of the JVCs now you're talking like it's right there. You know,
Mhm.
if you go like for an NZ900, it's like around that same area. You
Yeah,
know,
30 grand, right? And that's
Yeah.
why I say I want to see those. I want to see those two battle. I mean, I want to see their top of the line performance.
Yeah.
properly
lined up,
calibrated,
properly
nice size
calibrated.
screens, right?
Exactly.
Well, and
160
that's so
to
hard to
180
get.
inch screen.
That's
Yeah,
the
like,
thing.
you know?
You could just show the strengths, right? It's like, okay, let's do 210-inch screens, blacked out room. Okay.
Mhm.
Blah, blah. JVC is going to win all day. Okay, let's do whatever, a 200-inch, or not a 200, maybe a 150-inch screen, right?
Yeah, 150. Yeah.
And blacked out screen. Okay, now you're kind of you're pushing the JVC, but okay, now let's do a 150-inch screen with the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you can't even see the JVC. You know what I mean? It's like, well, fuck.
You can. You can.
Pick your situation. You know what I mean? It's like,
How was the color on that Christie?
That.
Oh, yeah,
The VDR demonstration that they
even
had.
the expensive one was.
It was just amazing. It
Blew you away, huh?
It was the best projector there for sure.
Okay.
Hands down.
I didn't see the one he's talking
between
about.
the 1 and 2, between 1 and 2, the Eclipse and the VDR. I'm sure people will say that they prefer the Eclipse more, but for
Did you know the lumens
1/3 of the cost.
Yeah, did you know the contrast and the lumens?
I think it was 20, and the Eclipse is like 50,000 to 1, and I think the other one's like 20,000 to 1, somewhere in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're talking those contrast levels.
Yeah.
Right? That's TV levels.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I mean, look, you turn the lights off, and the movie was the projector was on, and you couldn't see your hand in front of you when the screen went black. It was projecting black.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was that good.
Was that the same on the one that you were looking at, the second one? Did it have the same thing?
So the one that we saw with the Eclipse, that was the one with the gigantic 64-inch subs. That was the Eclipse. That's the one that one. The other one was the Alcon's room that it had the VDR technology, and when they engaged that VDR technology, it was a game changer, man. It really was. And it really came for what I thought. I thought it gave that Christie a run for its money for 1/3 of the cost, and it's a regular size projector. It's not a 6-foot table,
Right,
with our extra cooler, So it was good. It was really good.
So at this point, anyone who's really looking at that price range, which will be like that, $30,000, it's either going to be your decision will be either the JVC or the Epson, the new Epson, right? You would have to look at both of those.
I mean, look,
so if I got 30,000, I'm still buying a Heimdall. I'm going to invest in the Heimdall.
Here's the thing. Well, the Heimdall is doing full rec 2020, so
I'll save my dollars and get that one.
I don't.
Well,
I can't discredit that projector either, because we did see it. I will say that the Christie's left a little bit more impression on me than that one, but by no means is the Heimdall a slouch projector either. It really was good. Derek says the Christie with the VDR, yeah. So that's going to trickle down into some of the small into the that technology will trickle down into some of the other more consumer projectors for the Christie line. I hear you, Abe, with the Heimdall. That's doing full rec 2020. I'm not sure if the other ones were doing full rec 2020 or not. I'd have to check it out and see. but yeah, it's
Well,
It's-
I could tell you this: it's great to see that there's different, choices now. Because a few years back it was either the JVC, Sony, or the Epson, and now it looks like we got more options, right?
yeah.
You know,
I think the Heimdall. What's the? I think the lumens on that one is what, like 4,000, 3,000 lumens, something like that. That's the only thing that's holding me back on that one. I think we'd have to look it up, and I don't want to misspeak here, but I know there's a special version of it too.
Yeah. You know, in a dedicated room where you're controlling all the light. Man,
Mhm.
But that's the thing. For me, I want to watch sports on my. I want. We talked about this last off air,
yeah.
right? That I want to be able to have windows still. I want to be able to.
I don't want to have a black room. That's
Right.
I
Right.
don't want.
You can have some lights on or something. I mean, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
every theater is going to be the same. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get them bright enough. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I look, I mean, look, I was watching a movie today with my JVC. Because I was ill today, I was just sitting around. But
You ill?
I watched a movie today about. I turned it on at like 4:00. It looked okay. It was a little washed out, but I was like, okay, it was washed out enough that I had to get up and put my paper shades on the window because it bothered me. Right now, I can tell you that there's other days when it's cloudy out that I can have all the windows open and it looks perfectly fine.
Mhm.
So it just depends. But I truly believe that there's a use case for the Epson and for the JVC, like I described earlier.
Mhm.
For your darker content, JVC all day long. For the content like that you're looking for HDR outside stuff like Top Gun, Top Gun Maverick, stuff that's you're gonna like that you're gonna see a lot of outdoor colors and HDR. Epson. You're not looking for black levels there. It really shines, and if you want to go with some of the higher ones, not discrediting, the Barco or the Christie's at all, but I mean, some of those, it's kind of like the Valerian, right? The Valerian is making waves at everybody right now.
Oh, that's the one that looks like a box, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's producing enough video to start competing with the Epson at $3,000 rather than $6,000, and the JVCs, the lower model JVCs,
Yep.
compared to 7,000, and it's doing DV, it's doing everything, right? So I mean, and they're talking 3,500 lumens for those. I've seen a lot of the reviews come out for those. So I like the fact that there's competition and stuff, and it's pushing people the right direction for sure. So, but yeah, it's for me, it's all about use case. And I probably, if I had the opportunity, I'd have the N900 for my movies, darker movies, and I'd have the JVC 7000 mounted right underneath of that for sports and for brighter movies that I want to look at. Like HDR. Just
Well,
Don't forget 3D, man.
You mean you would have
3D.
you would have a video wall. You wouldn't have two projectors. You would have
there you go.
a video wall with a drop
Yeah.
down screen. Yeah, that's what you.
That there you go. Now you're talking about.
I don't
it.
even know if you'd have two projectors. You would just have a video wall.
Probably.
Let me
I
ask
don't
you a
know. I
question.
do like the sound coming from behind the screen though. I do
Yeah.
like that rather than coming from
Yeah.
down the bottom.
That's true.
Let me ask you something. The projectors that you've seen a few now. How do they compare to an OLED?
OLED's on
I
a
still-
different level, but
It's a
they're-
different-
Look, I don't
I like
own an
OLED.
OLED because the TVs
I
that
love
I
them.
own have surpassed and they won't die, right? So I have LEDs, but I keep my son keeps throwing stuff at the TV, and I keep telling my wife, "Hey, I
Mhm.
hate to have to go buy a new TV," you know. And it's not that I'm training him to throw stuff at the TV while she's gone.
You're like, man, that's not the weak spot, man. You gotta aim a little higher.
But anyway, I don't have an
Well-
OLED. I've seen plenty of them, and and I will say that projectors, if you're looking for black levels, you're never going to get a projector to OLED status.
Yeah, no,
You know,
OLEDs are fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
pro OLED guy. I've got an LG OLED in my living room, and in my bedroom, I have one of the old Pioneer Kuru 42-inch TVs that were at the time the best black level there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's just night and day. I mean, between the OLED now, but just amazing
Yeah.
how upset it is. And that thing won't die. That I still have it. It still works just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna. I found while y'all were talking, I was trying to find this picture I wanted to show you. Talking about the old days. About 3-gun Sony G90s. I don't know. I think Don has to show this.
Yeah,
screen.
I'll add it
Yeah.
to the stage.
Yeah.
That thing. Remember that?
Yeah. Look at that, huh?
Look at that crazy son of a bitch.
Criminy, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful theater, though. Look at that
is-
theater, man.
Yeah, that's
Dude.
old Palace like theaters. Which,
That's
Yeah, that was a theater we
know.
did back in Key Biscayne, Florida.
Not far
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
probably
Dang, dude. Was that at someone's house?
at someone's house, and
Yeah.
in that structure, this
I
was
was gonna
done.
say, that
I
looks
do,
really fancy for a
I do have to
theater.
give credit to Acoustic Innovations because they were actually the company.
oh, I remember them. Yeah.
That did. This is their seating, and so I worked.
That looks like something that would be in Home Theater magazine back in the day.
It probably was. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of theaters. I used to work with them a long time ago, and
What's
that was one of the
poster in the background. I'm trying to figure it
Scarface.
Scarface.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
Yeah.
wasn't for sure. I was like, are
This
we,
was-
are we?
And this was
Okay.
one of the very first theaters I did many years ago. So this is like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my first entry into ornate theaters. I know this client wanted this red and gold classic thing, and so the team of people I work with, that's the design we came up with.
Did they have curtains? They had curtains in
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
front.
was gonna see if there's. Let me see if I can find a photo of the front of it. That's
That's
16.
hilarious.
That's
Check
wild, huh?
Yeah, that's not it. Let's see.
It's amazing how they've changed. The theater rooms now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, stop! Ooh, look at
We're
that.
just going through all the robots and everything.
Yeah, I saw Robbie there.
We're getting the you're not supposed to see.
Oh, look at that, huh?
Like scroll.
We just got the quick tour. I'm going to put that on a loop.
Yeah.
And what screen size was
That's
that?
going to be my short video.
That was about 100-inch screen
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's the big OG90. Yeah.
Look
Wait
at those
a
columns,
minute.
man. The double gold columns.
That's
The
a
double arch
Gladiator.
doors
Man,
to come
wasn't
in.
that- didn't that movie come out way after that? Like I didn't think they made those projectors.
Oh yeah, they were there.
Well, okay, now they could have photoshopped this picture much
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I was gonna
That-
say, wait a minute, that,
Yeah, no,
that
that's
movie didn't
not-
come out then,
right?
did it?
No.
Gladiator was out in the early '90s, right?
Yeah, that was not.
Yeah, that's
that
not
was-
a '90s projector.
Good catch.
yeah,
Good catch.
Not a
Good catch.
90s
Yeah,
projector
that was
at all.
photoshopped later on just for the.
Okay, yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
photo. Big catch.
Wait a minute.
But this was done with the team at Acoustic Innovation, who have a great team of artists that work for them, and I was lucky to be part of that team many years ago. And this was part of the project we did. But so I had to. My job was to make sure, I contributed to the design, but is to get it built. So I helped do all the engineering and project management and work with all the trades.
Oh, nice,
And get
nice.
that all in, and then work with the AV dealer, who's a local AV dealer in Miami, who
What speakers are hanging on the wall there? Those are
these are Wilson. So if we
Oh, see.
here, yeah, are you still
Mhm.
seeing my screen? I guess.
yeah. We
Yeah. So this is the Wilson
Wilson
Watch
Watch.
Center. Watch Center. I think it's called Watch Center. And then
What? And the puppies.
pups right there, and then
Yep.
we've got some big old behind, you don't see them, but behind that curtain's a big ass sub. Two big ass subs. We got one here and one there. And on the wall, let me go back to that other photo. I don't think we had them. Where are the surrounds in this room?
Looks
I
like
think
they're
they were in the
hidden.
wall. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hidden, probably behind that panel right there,
Yeah.
and then right behind this panel right here. I don't remember.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, but I just the old days. Remember this big old thing, and it was
Yep.
such an eyesore at the time. What do you
And
had no
what?
choice.
I'm sure it
What
was
a-
loud as hell too.
Yeah. And what a
It's right
pain to
above-
calibrate.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that guy I can't think of his name had to come out, and calibrate this projector. It's only one guy from Sony that comes does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
You had to
imagine.
converge those 3 guns, those 3
Yeah.
CRTs, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that. I thought that was
Yeah, that was
It's pretty
definitely
cool. Yeah.
definitely down memory lane there.
yeah. I could show you some of these are some of the other. I'll go through this. Some of the other photos that AI. These are back early 2000s. Some of these designs. This
Ooh.
theater is cool.
Oh wow.
Well, that looks like the Enterprise.
Yeah, this actually was for a guy
That's
named
cool.
Mark Bell. That was I forgot what he did, but he was a very big Star Trek fan. This was actually one of the last theaters I worked on when I was with Acoustic Innovations many years ago. And I remember trying to figure out how to do these designs and come up with the designs. And actually, one of the other guys at the team there came up with this ceiling design.
Nice.
So
I saw the Will Robinson robot.
Yeah, we'll go
and then
back to the.
Yeah, that's
That's Forbidden Planet, Robbie.
yeah.
Robbie the robot.
Go
Yeah.
back a couple.
go back. I gotta say,
No,
oh,
yeah.
One more.
One more.
there you go.
There he
you go.
goes.
Yeah.
That's Robbie.
There he is.
That is detailed, man. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
There he is. Yeah, that's in the lobby of that client's theater.
Wow.
Danger.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, look, you can see this old stuff back in the day.
What do you got?
This old stuff. This JBL Synthesis
Yeah, that was the lexicon. Really, is what that was.
Lexicon. Yeah.
Yep.
There's JBL amps.
Yep.
Look at that VCR. Look at that Mitsubishi VCR. Look
Yeah.
at that. Going back, man. And I'm
Oh
sure
yeah, even laser disc
Laser
player.
There
disc.
it is, right there.
The
Yeah.
pioneer.
919 or a 606.
Mm.
I'm not sure which one that one is.
Thank
Look at it. Here's a mini DV to VHS.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's nice.
That was like very
Oh,
new.
like
That's new old right there.
Yeah, I would love to still have one of these, man, to just to record a lot of my mini DV onto. I saw, it's funny. I saw a Sony for $1,000 on eBay. I don't
No
want to buy it.
kidding.
Yeah, 8
Wow.
millimeter to VHS recorder.
Wow.
And it looks like a Marantz reference DVD player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing what we did back then. Yeah, Audio
Yeah.
Advisors. Yeah, so Audio Advisors is a company out of Palm Beach. They do good work. D-Box. Yeah, so there was D-Box seats.
Oh, the D-box seats.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
I don't know. Is
They
that company
shake.
still even in business? D-Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are commercially, not
Yeah.
residentially anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're still around, right? Yeah.
Well, I was very poor, so
And I
I
don't know,
didn't,
does
I didn't know they were ever residential.
No, they
No, they had a
did have they did have a residential line for a little
Yeah.
while,
Yeah.
and then someone else they partnered with someone else for a little bit, and then they stopped offering.
Gotcha.
Detail, but it's a touch panel.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, and this is back. I mean, like I said, early 2000s. We were doing this crazy
Well,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
Star
not
Trek
the-
stuff.
That's not the next generation style.
No.
That's
No. Now, this is
original
actually one thing.
track.
This is one of the theaters I designed completely myself,
Yeah.
which was simple to do. A lot of ornate
Yeah.
woodwork.
I like the idea of the curtains, because it
Yeah,
brings me back,
yeah, I do too. And this is one of my first projector clothes where I try to get it seamlessly into the soffit. That
Oh,
middle section
nice.
comes out.
Yep. Yeah, the curtains, it's a good design because, it's one of those little things that,
These are windows, actually. This is in the front of this guy's house.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it makes it just heightens the room too, you know. whenever you have
Oh.
floor to ceiling or
Ooh,
curtains.
that's the red theater.
That's cool.
That's cool too. Yeah.
That's what I need. I need to automate something to where whenever I hit play or turn my stuff on, it.
Yeah.
It's funny, back in the day, curtains were a big thing. If you notice, a lot of these older theaters had curtains, and that was the thing.
Yep.
Back then was curtains.
Yep. You knew the movie was starting when the curtain started opening.
I tell you what kind of killed curtains is the move to CinemaScope. And when we started doing more CinemaScope, everything back then was always 16 by 9.
Muted.
Or am I muted?
No, you're not muted.
Oh,
no.
Okay. But everything back then was 16 by 9. This is early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So when Scope Scope started
it
picking
took that extra 5 seconds to.
Yeah, well,
wait,
Scope took up more. Well, Scope took up more real estate on the front wall. So it killed the stacking distance, because you need like 1/6 the screen, the curtain size for stacking. So so you have to make sure you calculate for the curtain stack. So those larger scope screens were filling up. That's why we pretty much went away from curtains. But I still miss the curtains. So, but if the theater
that's a nostalgia thing for sure, man. Like it's, the 20th century theme song, and then the curtains opening, and it's.
Hey, Ike.
Hey, I was trying not to even hop back so I don't ruin a good show. It looks like you guys are having a great time.
You came just in time for my coughing attack. So
yeah, unfortunately, Don had no technical difficulties. He's just having, physical difficulties.
Body difficulties.
Yeah, it's like, oh man.
Yeah, I've been sick since I think I started telling this earlier. Since I mailed those shirts, I came home and I was like, man, I'm just not feeling well. But
I know, man. If I get sick in the next couple days because I wore this shirt, I know who I'm sending a letter to.
No, they were pre-boxed. They actually been boxed for like a week. I just finally got around to sending them to you.
Did I take notices?
Yeah, you
well,
took
hey,
no,
thanks, Nelson. I guess Nelson dropped off for a second. Maybe he's having technical difficulties. It's the Gremlin night, or. But hey, I want to say thanks. That was man. The back grade upgrade or whatever it's like.
that's
an upgrade for sure, right? Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about that, about the JVC stuff, and then not sure if you guys heard or not. I couldn't find the actual article, but Sofa Baton actually has delayed delayed the X2 again. So it's now you're looking early January, early 2026, or December 2025, late December. So so it's delayed again.
See, that's my thing.
I don't think they had an
Kickstarter.
No, they did. It was supposed to be coming out, I think, in August or this month.
It's like, take my money now, unless I decide I can't make enough money, so I'll just make all the money that you gave me and not do anything. Like, I hate that new.
That's that new remote. That's that
model.
Yeah, there's another one. So that's the cheaper of the I won't say cheaper, less expensive of what we were talking about the other day, right? That's the one that's like $500, $400 or $500. But yeah, they did roll that out. But you came just in time, because we never even talked about our week. What happened with our week? We never even got to that. So you can still partake in the conversation.
What do you watch this week, Ike? Besides Sound of Music 4K.
Oh, how was that?
I'm just gonna say, we know that happened. I mean,
were you going around the house singing "Do a deer, a female deer"?
It was good. It was good.
Cool.
I think
Cool.
obviously they're not going to get away with the grain, right? The film grain is still there, but yes, I think it's the best it's ever been. Just having to rewatch it, and I'm going to be watching it again tomorrow night because I
Oh,
want to
really?
do a
2
review
in a
on
row.
it.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
you picked it up on the Kaleidoscape?
No,
No,
the
I
disc.
actually got the 4K disc on
Oh,
release.
okay.
On release, I didn't even know it was going to come out on Kaleidoscape, but yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
it was out last
So
week. I picked it up and it looks great, you know.
yeah, it looked really great. And then I watched Warfare. So
Yeah,
those are the two things that I watched.
yeah.
See if you can turn your mic volume up a little bit, Ike.
Yeah, you are
Oh,
a
You
little
do sound a
low.
little low.
It might be not on the right mic. Yeah.
Mic check,
There
one,
you-
two,
A little
1,
bit
2.
better. There you go.
I was probably leaning away from it, but yeah, I got the volume up.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, Sound of Music, and what else did you say? And Warfare.
Yep,
How
Oh
did you
yeah,
like Warfare?
that was good.
it's good. I actually like it. I like the style of it. I actually think we should have a lot of movies with that type of style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's almost, I like it.
I did pick
yeah.
up this. Look at this, 50% off.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
Once
Yeah,
Upon a
hold on,
Time in
let's
the
see
West
something.
at Barnes and Noble, 4K Ultra HD.
Nice.
I said 50% off. I'm like, I'm doing it.
I need to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid $14.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Where was that from?
it's Barnes and Noble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's
Did you guys watch Nobody 2 yet?
I've not seen that. I heard it was okay.
Did you watch the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
it was pretty good too. Nobody 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was-
No, I
I
haven't
like
seen that one.
yeah, the
So-
first one was a little better, but it was pretty good.
So,
Mhm.
Paul, what about you? What were you able to partake in this week?
Man, I done. You know me. I forget. I gotta write this shit down. I know. I know. I watched a movie. I bought several.
Oh.
So, with Plex, people share their stuff, right? Like, I can watch, someone else's stuff, and I start looking, and I notice it's like, okay, that movie that's 32, megabit stream rate. It's like, no, that's someone ripped that from a stream. That's not a legit movie. I want the full quality. So I'll buy it. Sometimes I'll watch it on like Apple TV or whatever streaming service I have and decide if I want to add it to my collection. But man, I cannot remember. I know I watched a movie, but I bought several new movies. I bought Sinners because wasn't that the one that had the scene at Cedia where he was doing the
It was
Were
the
there-
dance scene. The dance scene that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Sinners? Because that I was like, dude, I don't know what movie this is, but this scene is freaking amazing.
Yeah, they have
That-
it was only played in like one or two.
Yeah,
places.
okay. I didn't know what it was, and I thought that's what it was. So I bought Sinners. I bought Megan 2.0. Haven't even seen the first one, but I did. But I have it on my server.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah. That's
We've got Bush.
yeah, right. Bush
Excellent movie.
2.0. Yeah, I mean, hey, the only 3D movie I've seen was Piranha. What was it? Piranha 3 Double D. That's the only 3D movie I've seen.
Oh gosh.
I wasn't watching it in 3D.
So Nelson, what about you, sir? Were you able to partake in any movies this week?
Yeah, I saw the Nobody 2, which was pretty good. F1, man. That was pretty good. That F1, the Formula 1 with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was great for sure.
Yeah, it
I'll
was
be
a
buying,
pretty
I'll
good
be
movie.
buying that for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, I gotta watch that movie. Although I watched that one clip 700 times at the show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
only the opening, so it didn't spoil anything for you.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. What else did I see? I think that's it. I saw some scenes of Sinners. Oh, Sound of Music, which was awesome.
There you
Um,
go. Somebody else loves Sound of Music.
Sound of
yeah,
Music.
You did
Everybody
that on
loved it.
Kaleidoscape, though, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
picked it up
man.
on the Kaleidoscape. Yeah,
I after we jumped off the show last Thursday, I sent Ike a screenshot letting him know it was up on the store.
yeah. The Naked Gun I want to see. I haven't seen. I have it, but I
The
haven't
new
seen
one,
it yet.
yeah, the new
Yeah,
Naked Gun.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the fact that Liam Neeson playing the naked, I was like, maybe I gotta watch it. I gotta be open minded because I was like, really?
I heard it wasn't bad, and
Uh,
they actually, from what I heard, they leaned into him being old and not being able to,
Like, who
not.
else would you have
Yes.
cast for
Not
that?
Yeah.
able
Like,
to
who else
tear
would you
stuff
cast?
up.
Like,
Yeah.
who would you guys cast for that? I mean, like I wouldn't have never thought of Liam Neeson. It would have shown up.
No, me neither. Me neither.
No.
Who would you
You
cast
know.
for
I mean, the problem that we actually talked about this is offline, that there's just not a lot of great comedies out anymore. But
Nah.
I did start, just because it because people get offended so easily these days. But I'll go into something that I watched that was pretty funny after you guys wrap up here. But it was a comedy. So you were able to check out Sound of Music, Nobody,
Mhm.
and then sorry, you bought Naked Gun. Anything else?
I also got the Mission Impossible. I saw it in the movies, but I haven't seen it yet on the projector. And that's about it. Yeah, you talk about the comedies, right? Like, think. You ever saw Eddie Murphy's Delirious?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. We talked about this
we talked about it. Yeah.
last week.
And
Imagine.
none of them could survive today.
No, man.
I was looking at old Don Rickles material on YouTube, thinking, "Oh, I feel so sad. I'm so glad he came along when he did, because he would just have been like cast to an island somewhere." None of his stuff is politically correct, nor would I think people respond to it at all. It's just so, it's just. But he was funny in his day, and people laughed at things back then and not
Yeah.
take everything so seriously.
Yeah.
So, Abe, what about you? Any movies? I know you bought one.
I watched for the first time. I Kaleidoscape had Superman, so I bought Superman to watch that. Just to see it. I don't know what the big hubbub about the political stuff with it, because I didn't really see anything in there that would even remotely be of an issue related to that. But just standing on the merit of just being a Superman, action movie.
Yeah.
I thought it had some issues. I mean, it was entertaining to watch, but it had issues. Like, where did this dog come from that they've got in there? And then, like, okay, so this, come to find out, okay, it's Supergirl's dog.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. Yeah, which there's a dog in the show.
Well, you got to read the comics, because that stuff's
Yeah,
in
but
the comics, and they take liberties. 'Cause that's
well,
what a
no,
lot of
actually, was the dog really? Did she bring the dog from Krypton? The cousin, a Supergirl, because that's his cousin, bring the dog with her when
that's
she came to
not
Krypton?
in the comics. That's not quite exactly how.
Well, James
Yeah.
Gunn. James Gunn, obviously, he brought that to the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And the robots that's in his lair.
Yeah.
Apparently, they left instructions, and he built these robots that took care of. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and not to mention, there was like 4 times that Lex Luthor could have killed Superman so easily the movie could have been over. It's just I had some issues with it just from an old school Superman type vibe.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of Superman fans had issues with it.
I had issues.
A lot of people liked it,
But it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
They liked
Yes.
it because it was more like, it wasn't the perfect Superman as far as the character had vulnerabilities, and I get that, right? Because they did, right? Like maybe he made the wrong decisions, blah blah blah, that type of situation, or he was maybe gullible or whatever. So to that, I think that's what a lot of people were drawn to, because a lot of the superpower, superheroes are just like, hey, I'm infallible. It doesn't matter. I'm a perfect non-human because technically I'm an alien.
Superman should be
I'm an
Superman
alien.
should be a little
you know?
bit more durable. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking Superman should be a little more durable. Batman is fragile. Okay, all these others
Yeah.
are fragile, but
Yeah.
Superman should be a little more durable. He should be able to be easily killed as easily as he could have been 4 times throughout that movie. And I'm thinking, okay, just But so I just felt like they made him a little too weak, and they made Lex Luthor look way too powerful, in my opinion. But it's like I said, on the whole, it was entertaining.
I think here's the thing. That one, if you don't read Flash and watch the Flash, or not watch, but understand the Flashpoint paradox, a lot of that stuff will mean nothing to you.
Yeah, I'm just thinking,
and that's where it's like, yeah, you got to be kind of a nerd in that aspect.
Yeah,
and there's a lot.
I'm sure you do.
It's DC's version of the multiverse. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I'm just taking from my old school perspective.
Yeah. No. I know what you mean. You're talking like
Christopher Reeve, Superman 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I'm at. Right?
And that's why I was like, and I was the same way. I was like, it wasn't. It's like
the Richard Donner.
It wasn't my favorite Superman movie. I was like, it was better, but it wasn't. It definitely wasn't my personal favorite Superman movie.
Yeah. I have it sitting on my kaleidoscope. I just haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you ain't watched it? Oh, sorry, I spoiled some things for you there. It's not enough. Trust me, it's still much more.
Dude, the trailer has the super dog in
there. Yeah. So nothing I really tell you is.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll still watch it. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but it's very good quality as far as the sound, as far as just a good quality to watch for demo picture. It was very enjoyable. Very good quality. Very well recorded.
Yeah, I heard it was. Pretty good for the picture.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Oh yeah,
it's it'll fill your screen because I think it's shot at 185:1, so that one fills your screen, your 16:9 screen, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it was high res digital. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing where they're starting to do like higher frame rate and res to where by the time they edit it or cut or add any special effects, it matches, because a lot of the times they'll do like 2K film or 4K film, and by the time they get their actual digital effects that are like 8K, it's like they stand out. But this looked like they matched it very well. It wasn't nothing really stood out to where it's like, oh, that's special effects. Ugh. Like
they did a great job with the dog, right?
Yeah.
The dog looked very good. I see. Yeah. I was saying Derek and the thing saying that crypto's been around a long time. That actually some of the cartoon. Yeah, I'm just and I guess I have to go back and understand. But
long time. Yeah.
Is it that he came with the Supergirl? What she got here? Because I always just know it's just.
That's where they took a little liberty, and a lot of the fan base are like, wait, that's not her dog. Like what?
Because I can't spoil it for Dom.
Yeah.
Don't give me any spoilers. I want to watch it. It's been a while.
All right, we'll talk about it after you watch it.
I watched all the Supermans a long time ago when I was a young kid. The one with Richard Pryor and all that stuff.
That's Superman 3. They got bad. They got bad. 1 and 2 are the best. Yeah, I saw the rest of them because I was just a kid back then too. But even as a kid, I was like, this is cheesy. I mean, being 10, 11
Richard Pryor.
I'm a big Richard Pryor fan, so when
I love that Superman, dude.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy. It's corny as hell.
Yeah. It is. It is.
But I absolutely enjoyed it, and I love Richard Pryor, so I just
Still to this day, I love him
Speaking of someone that wouldn't pass today.
Oh yeah, I love the Superman.
That's true.
Whenever he was trying to do the both keys.
Oh my god!
Like I still to this day, he's like, in this
Yeah.
flight. Like, oh, what do I do?
You know, I
Did
gotta
you
watch
ever-
that.
you ever
I gotta
watch-
watch that one? Man. I haven't
You
watched that
ever
in a long time.
You ever heard the Richard Pryor album, the one where with the
Oh,
monkey?
gosh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so funny, man.
No, I listened
Oh,
to
yeah.
JoJo Dancer, and I
I've
listened
got
to
I've got all the Supermans. I think in Blu-ray. I think they re-released them in Blu-ray a long time ago. But do they have all the original old Supermans in 4K?
man.
maybe?
I have
Yeah.
all the I
Yeah,
pretty
they
much all
have
the
them.
Supermans on Laserdisc.
Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe I bought them in 4K, and I need to rewatch them all again.
Yeah,
I wanna
they
watch
just
three again.
Warner Brothers just because I bought the can. They have like a box set, and they had all the Supermans. But there was some issues with the audio on I think 3 out of the 4 movies. So Warner Brothers did an exchange program where you could call them or email them, and then they send you the correct versions of those movies.
Mm.
But all of them have been released on 4K. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, maybe I bought the. I'm gonna have to look because I'm like, man, if I don't have those on
Any of
4K,
those on Kaleidoscape yet? I haven't even looked.
Yeah, they're all there now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just getting. That's what I was just looking
Yeah.
for to see if
Yeah.
Superman was all on there.
Well, hopefully they'll put them in a kit, in a package, like a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a content set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be nice. Just let them put it in content and give us a good price on it.
Yeah.
that's what's fantastic about the Kaleidoscape too. I mean,
Yeah.
they put these.
Well, I bought all my Mission Impossibles right
Yeah.
when you
Yep.
were pre-buying the latest one.
It was like $47. It was a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy. I bought that, and so we watched all of them almost back to back, and then the new one came. The hit.
Yeah, so I want to do a marathon on that too. So on the Mission Impossible. So
Yeah,
For-
2 was the
for
corniest.
sure.
I will always say 2 was the corniest one of the bunch.
so Derek, you sent me a text message, man. You don't have to ask, and you can jump on. You got the link, bro. Jump on, man. So I don't know how much longer my voice is gonna last here.
someone just joined and we didn't. They dropped back out. I don't know if it's because we.
I jumped back on first.
No, it was someone else.
So yeah, Derek jump on if you want, man. So I'm just gonna go through a little bit of stuff that I watched, which I'm surprised that I didn't get shit about this at the beginning of the show. But
Oh, there he is, Derek. Yeah, I
there's
didn't.
Derek. Hey man,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
what's
Sorry,
up? What's up,
it
man?
was-
You got the link, man. You don't need permission. You jump on. This is how I want the show.
That's what I do. I just bomb them. Come in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I don't want to interrupt the flow,
No,
because
man.
the
No,
song
there's-
isn't quite the flow. I don't want to mess it up.
That is the flow.
you are the flow.
This is the flow.
Hey, without you
Spike's
guys,
the
we don't
flow.
have a show. So thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah, no, I let me just go through a couple things that I watched, and I'm surprised, like I said, that I didn't catch a bunch of shit like as soon as I stepped onto the show here from Mr. Paul here. So I did watch the Ravens on the big screen. Play the worst game in 3 years.
Sometimes,
Someone did say something.
dude, they were. I was like, their first 3 or 4 possessions, I was like, man, they are making that look easy. They were making
Yeah.
first down. I was like, dude, what is happening? And then all of a sudden, bloop, and I'm like, what?
Fumble, Lamar interception.
Yeah, so I was like,
Fumble.
this isn't even the same team. is it?
Lamar getting sacked 7 times. Fumble.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
was-
I watched that, and then today I actually got to watch, and I didn't finish the movie, so I noticed that the IMDb ratings are bad on this movie, but for a comedy, I've been in search of a comedy for so long, right? Like just a pure make me laugh out loud comedy.
Mhm.
I watched this, man. Me and my wife, we watched Kind of Pregnant with Amy, what's her name? Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Man, this thing was funny, dude. I still got 3, maybe like a quarter of the movie to watch. But if you want to watch something that's going to make you laugh out loud, it's pretty damn funny. So I can definitely recommend that. And then the catching up on some Dexter. So started the new season of Dexter. We watched the first 2 episodes of this. It's turning out to be pretty good already in the first two episodes. So I'm a big Dexter fan. I really enjoyed Dexter. I like how it always has like the little twists and turns. And then I might as well be vulnerable like I always am. You know, I told you guys I cringed through Tron and I cringed through this, and I don't watch that. But yeah, me and my son took part in the K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix.
Oh my god!
I'm surprised.
I'm telling you what.
Me.
I am telling you guys,
dude. Yeah, I don't care who you are. Like I watched that because I didn't even know before it was a super popular. Ton was telling me, "Hey man, you got to watch this K-pop Demon Hunters," because he knew that I would like it, and I watched it. It's like, dude, that's an amazing friggin' anime, bro.
I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. Yeah. I'm telling you, it was
and
good.
It is some awesome video, amazing audio. That's a cool friggin' movie. That's why it's so popular.
Is what it is. It's a Disney musical, right? But with modern music. I mean, it's got K-pop. K-pop, right? Yeah, so it's got rap in it. It's got pop music in it.
If you don't like K-pop, there's people.
I enjoyed the shit out of this. We watched it.
It's cool. If you don't, but some people just don't like that style of music, So
no, we watched this today. My son was a little iffy about watching it, but we watched it, and I even went back to. They have a sing-along version on Netflix.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got a sing-along with all the words and everything else. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
do we have video? Do we have video? Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know the words yet. Well, let me learn the words, and then you'll get some video.
Man,
it's hilarious.
So yeah,
I think you have a new version of this show. It's Don and Paul doing K-pop Demon Hunter live sing along.
Hey man, you know what? I've had some karaoke parties at my house. And I'm not good at karaoke. My whole thing is, don't come here as a professional singer. It's called karaoke, not singing. Come on.
Yeah. So look, I mean, that's going to bring me to the next little topic before my voice dies out here. But we'll get hit up with Derek real quick. What were you able to partake in this week? Anything?
We're on the whole Superman thing still. So we finished off. We watched the Supergirl. We watched all 4 of the original 4, and then we finally watched Superman, the latest one. Okay. My son, he's very much into if you start a series, we got to finish that series. We can't stop in the middle.
Right. I like it because I'm the same way. I haven't watched the new Mission Impossible because I want to run through all of them again before
we did that too.
So I want to do the same thing.
Yeah, we did that.
I'm sad because I don't have my theater right now. I'm still in the waiting mode before I can build it. But there's a scene in Mission Impossible 8. The base is so insane, and I don't want to ruin it for Don, but you all, if you've watched the movie, you will know what scene I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah. I saw it at the
I couldn't remember CD. I was surprised that everyone
12 times.
Yeah, we saw it a lot.
So there was only one demo room I went to that had it. One sound room that
multiple times.
They were used up towards the end. Because the first day when I went through most of them, only one of them had it, and I was certain everyone was going to be doing it. That scene is, from a base perspective, it's because there's so much like nuance and detail to it beyond just being Like
See,
insane.
that's where like I've made fun of. Like I love Pacific Rim, but I'm like, man, they
Mm.
use the same bass frequency for doors closing and a
Yeah.
Meg. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, what? Like,
Yeah.
that's not how
Yeah.
that works.
Hey,
Like, you just change the volume by like 6 dB. It's
At
still,
least.
Getting
you know, that
getting
doesn't
back
mean
to
anything.
K-pop, if you want a good theater workout, home theater workout, there's a lot of nice nuances in that, and the music itself is awesome. Of course, I prefer hip hop music and stuff like that, but I like some of the older hip hop where there's actually a story being told, and the music itself, and actually whatever's being portrayed on the screen is actually the song is about what's being portrayed on the screen. So I really enjoyed that. But no, watch it. I'm telling you, your system will definitely get a nice workout. The bass is good. Everything's good with that. Which brings me to my next topic is
Uh-oh.
how close is Netflix getting to physical? And look, I don't have a physical disc for K-pop, but I'm telling you what, some of these movies that I've been watching through the Lindorf, I'm not upscaling nothing. I'm not using
Are you talking audio or are you
yes,
talking
audio.
See, and that's what confuses the fuck out of me. Like, dude, audio is so small compared to the video.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they just not streaming? Like, okay, and I'll just nerd out for a second. Plex. I can stream to 100 different people at once. And it transcodes, right? Based on the bandwidth and the capability of the device, right? It almost never friggin' has to transcode the audio. Like it might have to go down to friggin' 720p,
Mm-hmm.
and then the audio, if they had a high-end receiver but their bandwidth sucks, it's full fucking Atmos audio, and they're getting a 720 transcoded video stream. Like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Yeah. No,
Like,
I'm telling you what, I've been very, very surprised at what Netflix is doing with the audio.
What are they doing?
It's just it sounds really, really close.
they are getting up to
really close to physical media.
Yeah,
And my Kaleidoscape.
I was just checking. Their bit rates are up to says here it's up to 768 kbps. Dolby Atmos.
They've been slowly upping it.
Yeah. So
And
I mean, it's becoming close. Like I'm getting full Atmos in movies. I'm getting panning. I'm getting good bass. I'm getting to where I'm like, hey, when am I gonna stop buying movies on Kaleidoscape?
I watched the Lord of the Rings the series on Amazon,
mm-hmm.
and I thought that was like one of the best streams that I've ever seen and heard. But the problem with streaming right now is the inconsistency.
Right.
I can watch something that could look and sound fantastic, and then throw on something else and it looks like crap or it sounds like crap.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, I agree.
So it's still, even though it's really good, in comparison to what we used to have. Like I remember when I first got into streaming, cable TV was looking horrible.
Oh my
And
God.
then right, and then I got the DirecTV app through the Apple TV, and that was far superior over what I was getting through cable. But there's an inconsistency there. That's the only issue I have with streaming.
I'm looking here just to do a comparison. Dolby Atmos is streaming up to 771 kbps for Netflix, compared to Prime Video, which is 192 to 448 kbps.
Yeah.
So definitely significantly higher audio resolution with Netflix.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you guys, I've been extremely happy with the movies that I've been watching. I told you, I talked about watching SpongeBob with my son, and I was getting full Atmos almost the whole movie. And the bass was fantastic. I was getting wide channels playing everywhere. I mean, and I'm not upscaling. Like I said, I don't use the DTS upscaler or the Dolby upscaler at all.
Mhm.
And I'm just blown away with the way that Netflix sounds on and it could be different with different processors, right? But
Mm.
I'm just extremely happy with how Netflix
Yeah.
sounds for the movies that I've been watching.
And a lot of it
with
is
Room Perfect.
yeah, it's a lot of it like with the like they do like Apple TV, right? They do
And by the way, that's the device that I am using. I'm using the Apple
yeah,
TV
they'll do
to
like
play Netflix.
they'll
It's-
do PC,
Yeah, that's the
right?
best. From
But
what I've heard, that's the best one to use.
they'll like
Mm.
they still kind of compress it. You can tell if you listen to the same movie, right? If they do lossless, man, even if it's not as high of a bit rate, right? If they don't compress it, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, it might not be the same resolution. It might not, it's, I don't know how to, it's like something like it's 24 frames per second versus 30 frames a second, right? You'll notice 24 versus 60, right? But we're not talking that much of a difference. We're not talking 24 versus 60 or 120 frames a second, right? We're talking but if they because their devices and the way they do PCM is mostly for TVs, right? It is to provide a good experience for most of the populace, which is watching
right.
content.
To give you
on-
perspective too.
Sound bars.
Yeah, exactly. They're not even sound.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
It's
they're
on it.
watching it on a TV with a 3-inch speaker.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
771
Or a
is good. It's a good choice. But just remember,
Yeah.
like on a disc, you're close to, according to what look here, 4,500 kbps off
Yeah,
the
Right.
disc.
yeah. Mhm.
So if you
Yeah.
just for comparison, that's still a lot of room to grow.
Of course.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
But still,
exactly, exactly.
but that 771 is still better than anything.
And that's just them doing their PCM. They're converting it
Mhm.
to make it
Yeah, they're
more
yes.
more universal. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. It's like, hey, we don't want to troubleshoot all your freaking. We don't want to troubleshoot the 10% of you bougie audio home theater dudes. Like, F that.
Mhm.
No, we're doing our own PCM. It's going to work with every freaking thing. I get that, but they need to have an option for us
Yeah.
Uber nerds. That's like,
Do y'all remember when the Atom Project came out? That was one of the first ones that I saw on Netflix that I felt like the Atmos was truly like good-ish. Like,
Right.
it wasn't disc level, but it was the first one where I actually felt like you could hear objects panning and moving in a Netflix movie.
Right.
But it wasn't a great movie, but the sound to be able to show from a Netflix perspective what you could do, that was probably the best I've seen
Mhm.
thus far. That was specific to them. Y'all remember that one?
I did not see that one on Netflix. But I do remember the movie, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I think that it's becoming closer and closer, and it's going to take a lot, right? Obviously, some people in some parts of the country still don't have gig speed, right?
yeah,
They still don't have, so I understand it's going to be hard for us to get that full disc, but I'm telling you, I watch a lot of movies. I really enjoy Atmos and the different sound formats, and for me to sit back and say, hey, I'm enjoying it, and I'm not sitting there listening, critiquing it, and I'm getting enveloped in the movie, or I'm getting drawn into the movie enough that I'm saying, well, damn, this is
It's
This
just
is-
enough
this
to
is
get
good.
you. It's just
Correct.
enough for us people who have these nice systems in our theaters to get the enjoyment out of Netflix. So
Mhm.
I think they put it right where they can, and also balancing bandwidth across the spectrum of people. They're getting, so yeah, I mean, it was probably the best choice just given all those parameters.
Yep.
Mhm.
But
So-
yeah, I would like to see it keep growing, or like Paul said, get a separate little tier or something that you can.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
dude, as advanced as everything is, it's like, man, it's like, oh, you got Google 5 gig. It's like, okay, stream that person this capability.
You pay, well, maybe it's a couple dollars more, just something that you
Yeah,
can
and-
add on.
And like I said, I watched that show, Adolescence, and that's a Netflix show, and it's a drama. And like I told you, my wife literally was like, I thought you said the room was soundproof. I can hear all the rain outside. And then I hit the pause button and the rain disappeared.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh. Because
Yeah.
she thought that the rain was like
That that means you got the heights working properly.
yeah. And so that was
Like-
that was a that
You're
was
like,
a
"What are you
that was a
talking
proud
about?"
that was a
Oh.
proud dad moment there.
Mm,
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's that was on Netflix, So what do you guys think in the chat? What do you think about Netflix? Taylor says that next Netflix mixing standards for their own movies target is 9.1.6 now. So I mean,
Good.
it's
Got time.
yeah.
so I'm at what point do we say, hey, when are we going to stop providing all this money to Kaleidoscape, or are we at one point do we say, hey, streaming's just good
Hey,
enough?
I'll leave my Kaleidoscape alone.
Their storage is outrageous, but the movies on there are the same.
I would just like Kaleidoscape to just get more on the library, and maybe have some of those just.
Look, I'm a big time advocate for Kaleidoscape. Big time.
I love it.
I've pushed Kaleidoscape since day one of opening this show. Right.
I think I've had Kaleidoscape for a while now,
But
and
I
I get
go ahead.
I
sorry.
get inconsistencies with the Kaleidoscape. Sometimes I throw in the disc and I feel the disc looks better.
Well, I still, yeah.
Well,
You know-
Nelson, you to be fair, you were the guy that called Kaleidoscape out for their Star Wars
Yeah,
Star Wars scene and told them that their mezzanine file was not right. They needed to get
Yeah.
it fixed, and they went back and they fixed the mezzanine files.
but the Strato V right now is having a lot of issues, man. I mean, they keep doing updates for these movies. I've had an audio dropout issue with the Kaleidoscape for a while now, which I keep writing to them about it. They know about it, but they haven't fixed it. But
Yeah.
overall, I'm glad I have it. Don't get me
Right.
wrong,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I like the Kaleidoscape. But there's times that I throw in a disc and I go, you know what? There's more of a consistent feel to the film on disc than it is on the Kaleidoscape. But then again, I can go back to the Kaleidoscape on certain things and say, wow, that looks really great
Well,
over
and
the disc.
I'm old school. I like the disc too. I've always used to promote that the disc is the ultimate form of the movie. And then when Kaleidoscape kind of caught up in that in some manners, then I'm pro Kaleidoscape because it's almost as good as that disc, if not a bit for bit copy of it in some
Right.
cases. So yeah, so it definitely has.
Yeah, I mean,
now-
the disc is
now I-
made from a mezzanine file too.
Yeah,
I
right.
like
Oh,
they
yeah.
throw that fucking word around like
So I'm
Yeah.
good with
shit,
Kaleidoscape,
dude.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck out of here.
MW, we can't go here, MW. Kaleidoscape's not terrible. We're nitpicking right now.
Yeah, we're nitpicking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Both the disc and Kaleidoscape are great, and there's we're minor variations from movie to movie, title to title, different things here and there. But I see what Don's point is that Netflix, as these streaming devices like Netflix keep on upping their game, there's going to be a point where, it's going to be harder for Kaleidoscape to kind of compete in market when we can get the same experience.
Well, look, one of my gripes with Kaleidoscape is, look, my mother-in-law, she lives with us, but basically I would say 12, 11 and a half months out of the year, right? So she lives with us, and she speaks Portuguese. She reads Spanish. You know, she does speak English too, but not as well, right? So they're just not putting subtitles anymore on any of the movies. So it's really tough, right?
Netflix or Kaleidoscope?
Kaleidoscape.
Oh,
So I'll go there, and the only thing for the movie itself is like hard of hearing English, to where they'll put the words up across for in English. There's not as many subtitles in the movies anymore at all. Now compared to
they're not bringing all the same subtitles that were on that disc.
nope.
Oh,
Nope.
okay. Well, I
Yeah.
never really dived in.
Right. Yeah. So that's a big thing for me, you know. I would, for her to be able to enjoy the movie, she likes to read, you know, be able to read it and comprehend everything, and you know, and sometimes even when you're watching like some foreign films that you can't pick up their dialect, sometimes I do like to read the subtitles too. You know, and like some British films and stuff like that, it becomes hard to understand them sometimes. I like to put on the subtitles too, you know, and it just, you know, that's my biggest gripe right now, because when I have my Arvolution, I can play any subtitle that I want.
Yeah, that's right.
Every subtitle on the disc I can play.
Kind of like it
Right.
in Revolution.
So yeah, I mean, you look, it's like I said, MW, we're nitpicking here, right? So it's definitely a 100% convenience device.
Yep.
I love it to death. I get
love
on the
mine.
app. I get on the app.
Happy.
I control the whole entire player right from my Kaleidoscape app. I use the remote function that's down the bottom here. I can swipe and wipe it up, and you know, that's how I control the entire Kaleidoscape.
He swipes and wipes.
I swipes and wipes.
That ain't slipping by me.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna let it slide.
And I like all the stuff that it integrates from you know, for me, what I'm doing Control 4, I can go in there and integrate it to go into the advanced programming, and when you hit play on the Kaleidoscape, it dims my lights, it opens the curtains, it does all the stuff, because I can which is pretty cool, because it has that in the programming. It's already built right into the driver, and they've got those discrete commands for all that. The cool thing
that's
is,
really cool. Yeah.
I use that all the time as I use those commands. The other thing is Arvolution. Chow Bain did a great job on the Arvolution driver and did all those same things. So we, in fact, at my client's house, we went there and I set that whole thing up so it's just as good as Kaleidoscape. He pressed play, it dims the lights, does the whole thing, and then when he presses pause, the house lights come up like if he needs to go through. So it's just as good as a Kaleidoscope. So we're very happy with how streamlined the Arvolution driver is. It's very good.
Yeah. So MW, I agree with you here. Sorry to cut you off there. I do agree with you here. I like 3D. Kaleidoscape doesn't play 3D.
Oh yeah.
I need an Arvolution player, or I need my disc player, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely need it, right? So
yeah. Sometimes the experience isn't about how good is the audio, how good is the video. It's more about how good is the integration, right?
Yeah.
And unless you spend a lot of time coding, you know, most people aren't doing Jellyfin, MV, Plex, you know, or Kodi and hitting play, and their blinds are shutting, their lights are dimming.
Right.
It's a specialty thing.
Yeah. And if that is happening for you, you're not paying for Kaleidoscape. You spent many years learning a trade to be able to do this thing, you know?
Hey, Carl, we can change that for you. We got 2 dealers on here for Kaleidoscape. So we can definitely change that for you. For sure. I don't know. Derek might be coming one of them too. Are you a Kaleidoscape dealer, Derek?
Not yet. Not yet. That's further down the road.
And you know what? If you know what we should do, this is what I think we should do. We should have, if you're going to buy one, It's whoever can drink the most shots. In one go.
I have
Oh,
lost
man.
that immediately because I pass out just from
Or you're
smelling
saying
it.
like you're saying like each one of us would have to add. Like,
No, the two dealers that are going to sell one to him.
uh,
Whoever can drink the most shots gets the sale.
all right, up for that
That's
challenge.
funny.
Hey,
I'm way out of the drinking game for sure.
I'm not that much that good at it either, so I don't know. That'd be,
You know, yeah, well, that makes it quicker, right?
Yeah.
Where, if that was on Brews and
There was the
News,
one shot.
you'd be like,
that was it.
Yeah.
we might be 14 shots in and be like, wait, no, yeah.
then when you see me fall off the chair, then you know. Okay.
Just be like, fuck it,
Don't
you
count.
get the sale. No, you get the sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Now look,
I don't know if I can do that anymore. Yeah, there was a time where it wasn't even a
I
question.
don't take my heartburn medicine after that.
And that's that, yeah. And a lot of it is that it's like, oh man, I'm
Getting
hurting in
old.
areas that didn't exist.
No, look, I thought it was interesting that I am watching these Netflix movies and I'm becoming, I'm satisfied with it, right? And I'm not usually easy to, just say, hey, I'm satisfied, right? So, I want my room to be as perfect as it can be. I mean, Abe is the same exact way because when we took measurements of my room for him to draw up in CAD, I mean, it was down to the 16th of an inch. I was like, damn, dude, can't we just get the measurements somewhere around it? And he's like, nope, got to have it perfect each side. If it's not, we're moving it. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So
Yeah. It's always good to
That's
just go that route. I mean, because you're always going to be off, but when we have that opportunity to try to make it as perfect as we can, it's
Yep.
just better so that when we do have those areas that are going to mess up, we have that leeway.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the upside of the laser measuring stuff, right? You
Yeah.
can actually get to that level easily.
Yeah, we were we were measuring down to the 16th of an inch, and like I said, I'm a perfectionist, and that's part of the reason why it's taken me so long to build my theater the way that I have. And I it's got to match. It's got to be right. It's got to sound good.
And you were also wanting to do this really crazy ornate LED trick that takes a lot of time to.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite an investment
Labor of
time.
love,
Yeah.
man.
Yep. Yep. And honestly, I haven't had any reason to rush into it. So, because I'm enjoying movies, I'm enjoying content, and
Yeah,
that's
you're
the
able to
whole
enjoy it,
purpose.
just able to still,
Right.
And just
You
keep
know,
tweaking on it.
I can't wait to hear what it's going to sound like once I put the treatments in and everything else. But I mean, Cedia itself will tell me that Room Perfect doesn't need treatments.
Yeah.
That it sounded.
I'm always going to disagree with that.
I understand it was immersive enough for and I think that it sounded very well in that Lindorf room, and
Well,
it's still my favorite room.
Yeah, I'm going to say that definitely. It just makes it work harder to take out
Of
the
course.
room of the
Yeah.
equation, and so it's excellent. It's where it shines is that it can do such an amazing job of taking the room out of the equation. But I don't want to overwork that system. I want to get the room taken care of physically,
Oh yeah.
so that work
I
by
think
that process.
the difference is that room that we went to, they weren't trying to impress the lowbrow
No.
Base heads. Yeah.
base.
No.
And when I say lowbrow, I don't mean if I'm just like, that's like, dude, I used to do that. I used to.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just like, that's more of like we're flexing, right? Like it's like, yeah, bodybuilders versus like Olympian, just someone doing like a very intricate, acrobatics, right? They're both very physically demanding, right? But in the end, it's impressive. You can lift a friggin' 800-pound stone, but you're just lifting at 800-pound stone. But at the same time, someone that's doing the, twist flips and spit, it's like, holy crap, there's so much control that they have. And that is very physical as well, right? But it's not as it's not as physical as an 800-pound stone. So that's the, and a lot of people think the 800-pound stone is like, that still takes a lot of strength. Anyways, that room, that's what they were doing. They knew their client. They're like, look, they're not here to impress all their friends with how much they can vibrate the stuff in their house. They're
No,
like,
that's not their
No.
yeah, exactly. So, for us, it was very impressive because it was like,
Look, I was
we're
impressed.
We're hearing
I was
the movie how it was supposed to be heard.
I was very blown away by that Lindorf
yeah.
Dibbo, and it was just, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah, I really like the way this sounds.
Trust me, MW. I was talking to Klaus and I was talking to other people at Lindorf about this. I agree. I don't agree that we need more than 16 channels just because the content's not there for more than 16 channels. What I do agree is that we need four subwoofer outputs, whether they all play the same or LFE outputs on the back. I agree with that we need that because Lindorf themselves recommends to have corner loaded 4 subwoofers for Room Perfect. So I think that we need to have 4 independent subwoofers or 4 subwoofers that play the same exact thing. So not only do you have your 15 bed, your bed layer and your 6 Atmos, but you also have 4 additional subwoofer channels too.
Now let me ask you this: on the 4 channels if you have 4 channels of subwoofer, it's more for coverage in the room on
Correct.
every seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you want to, and the
maybe.
reason I say independently
Maybe.
is because you want to be able to DSP each one of those, right? So, but if you have them playing the same exact thing, you can't really DSP each one of them unless you're running a mini DSP most of us would do.
It's more of like once you get 4 subs, it really DSP is like almost, you can still do a little bit, but it's more of being able to phase align it with all your other 16 speakers and stuff.
But also,
you
direct and stuff.
You're doing your crossover points. You can say, okay, I'm crossing over this height channel, that side speaker, and that backs around to this back corner sub. So you can actually direct, like in some of the Marantz processors, they make it pretty easy to do that. You can direct where you want the bass to go from those channels to which subwoofer do you want it to be associated with. So that's the advantage of having direct
especially if some of your tops and surrounds are not as capable and you're having to do a higher crossover like 100 or whatever.
Yeah,
this is an NCLA speaker. Yeah, exactly right. That's the perfect example where you'd want to be able to direct, hey, I want that height, that's rear left height speaker, that side surround, and that rear back. I want all that to go to that sub that's right here in this back corner. And that
helps with that.
What was running in that room? What was running as far as speakers?
So
did I take it was the line array LCRs.
Let me see if I can pull up.
See if I can find
I got pictures for that room. So let me see here. It was 3 line arrays stacked 5 high is what it was.
And well, you pulled that up, Don. I was just going to say that to NW's point, I do think it behooves the people, the manufacturers that are coming out with new stuff to have 20 channel processing. 19 really is kind of where you're talking about.
24 channels.
24, and honestly, as he also points out, with some of the active speakers where you're using active crossover, it's beneficial to be able to have even more channels.
But, a lot of that has to do with the size of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're
totally true.
This is all object based surround sound. So 16 is fine for probably 80% of the rooms out there, or 90% of the rooms.
Yeah.
When we have to go to 24 and 32 is when we're getting into these much larger rooms where the object based surround sound, we need the trajectory of 3-dimensional space to be more precisely tuned. And so
Yep.
when you got, but yeah, I would agree. 16, 80% of the homes out there's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I would say too, though, with Direct Art, and I mean, obviously, turn off with their waveforming. I would say 4 is minimum number of subwoofers in that situation. 6
4
and,
minimum.
and 6 is really kind of where you start getting ideal. And Taylor and Wade, if they're still on the chat, they can correct me. They're
I've
trained
done
with turn
6,
off.
8. I've done 10 subs before.
Yeah. But so when you start getting in that, it's helpful to have those extra channels to be able to do that, right?
Right.
And so those more advanced, and you're right, absolutely, that's generally the more advanced things. But when we're talking in these processors, they're over 10K. Yeah. The Hyperion ones look super interesting too from audio control. I would love for them to see to have come out with a way to do more than 16 channels though, because they're the same problem. The APR, DPR, and was it RCV? Those all, or RVC, I can't remember. All are 16 only. Hopefully they'll make an expansion module or something. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I
Don.
agree.
Yeah, so
Model LS, right?
this is the Lindorf room. You guys see there's no treatments. Basically what this was, it was a big room divided in 3 different sections. And as you can see, let's see here. Go
So
back.
that was the Model LS. That LCR was the Model LS, the line array.
Yeah.
Um,
You can
then-
see in one of the pictures I got here, try to get back to the
Mm.
so that's how thin the sidewalls were. But you can see it's like a 30-foot ceiling. And over here to the right, literally there's nothing, it's just curtain.
the
There's-
curtains on the
okay.
front.
There's nothing there. And the room itself was sectioned off into three different types of sections. One of the sections was a I think this was an OLED with this
Oh,
amazing
That's amazing.
with that amazing Steinway and Sons
that.
sound bar that
Wow.
was just, I mean, that
That
thing
thing was insane. That was probably the
yeah.
best soundbar I've ever heard in my life, right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that thing had some voodoo going on with it.
It was definitely the best looking sound bar I've
Oh,
ever
it-
heard.
Yeah. So it has it has center, left, right, and then what is it like
Yeah.
two mid bass?
Yeah. So Nelson, we were standing in this room in front of this, and they played Top Gun Maverick,
Yep.
and the plane flew over top of you.
Really?
And there was 30 people standing in front of this, and everybody turned around looking for rear speakers.
Everybody
that were
turned
not there.
around, and I was like, "What the fuck is everybody looking?" Because I was way off to the side, and I was like,
Wow, cool.
"Are you guys looking at me? Like, do I have a booger in my nose? What's going on?"
Yeah. No, it was that good. That
They
soundbar.
did. They
That's
did.
awesome.
Everyone did turn around. I was like,
what's
"What the hell are you
what's that retail for? That's that.
Just a
soundbar?
mild 40 grand for that.
Oh my god!
Well, not 40 grand. It was 4. No, it was 4. It was 4,500. It was like
No,
4,000.
no,
No,
It was more.
40,000?
5,000?
no, not even
Holy
close.
shit!
I thought they said 4,500.
No,
Oh my god, dude, that's outrageous.
45,000?
yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe I missed.
You-
Wade
A-
just-
A- Abe's
Wade was
taken
started.
back. He's like, it didn't sound that good.
I could have sworn I thought I heard 4,500.
You added a comma.
no.
Wow,
no.
that's outrageous. Man.
See you, Derek. Thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No. It was definitely.
45,000. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Derek's like, wait, you guys are too
How
rich
do
for
you
how
charge
much?
that
He's
much money,
He's like, oh, hell
Bro.
no.
Crazy, right?
How much?
I
I'm
don't know.
telling you.
Okay, I didn't have
When you stick that under a $200,000 wall, it's not even going to matter.
Well, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah, like I
unapproachable
said,
for me,
that-
though.
that-
that's for
that-
sure.
That's unapproachable for me.
Maybe I could get it in the used market in a few years.
So yeah, but the
You
thing
know,
that
I
really
can't
blew
afford
my
one.
mind about that Lindorf system, it was, and I don't say this lightly because I know it costs a lot of money, but for that whole system, it was like $120,000, 140,000, 120,000, what they said,
Well,
and
yeah,
that was for audio, all the audio, not video.
27,000, right?
Yeah,
That
And-
included the processor.
included the processor, the amps,
amps, the
all the
processors,
speakers,
the
for
subwoofers,
yep,
like
the line arrays.
all audio. Obviously, probably not the cables and and it
Yeah.
didn't
Calibration and all that stuff. That's just like the
installation.
raw
But
price.
I'm just like, man,
Well,
I could buy
that's
2 of those
it's still a
sound
lot, but
bars or
Right,
the
but I
but
mean,
compared
think
to that
about
center
it.
channel, holy cow!
A lot of people have that money wrapped up into their, some of these bigger theater tours that we do. They easily got $100,000 wrapped up into it, easily,
oh,
you know,
dude,
easily,
dude,
The average
yeah,
cost of theaters
no.
I'm on is
Yeah,
150.
man.
Easy.
Yeah, right. So,
Yep.
I mean, for the sound of that theater, it was great. Uh, Taylor, I don't know, man. For a sound bar, that thing was doing some voodoo, man. I can't
I
tell
don't
you
know. I
that.
still have to agree with it. It was nice, but I don't know if it's 45,000
that's
nice.
just
You know?
nuts, but
Yeah, I
if
want
you
to be
got it
able
like
to.
that, then yeah,
I
sure,
want to
why
be able
not?
to
Get the
open
sound bar.
like
Get one
a
for the living room, one
door.
for the
I want to be able to
bedroom.
open a
Why
door for
not?
40 grand, in one box. So I want to be able to like let me tweak it.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I'm definitely losing my voice here. So,
Yeah.
Nelson, thank you for dropping in. It was a pleasant surprise. So thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for having me there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we
It was
definitely
awesome.
appreciate you, Abe. We're looking forward to seeing you come back with Glenn and
Yeah.
talk about some of these designs and how he comes up with some of this fantastic work, right?
Yeah,
So,
and hopefully I'll have
And
something to
Derek,
share with him.
appreciate Derek dropping in, man. Yeah, it's always good to have. It's
Yeah,
like family.
Yeah.
It is. It's like family, and you know what? Hey, you don't get along with everybody in your family.
All right,
It doesn't
fellas. Have a
matter.
good night.
You just be cool.
Oh, look
you
at
know?
Benny. Benny, I didn't see you, bro. I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there Monday. So hopefully I feel well enough that I'd love to come by and check out your theater. I'm definitely not going to come by there if I'm sick though. But
Yeah.
love to come by and check out the theater if I'm doing better by then.
And as soon as he gets better, he's gonna throw up the storefront for the
I need a
t-shirt.
shirt, man.
Yeah,
I
I got you. I got some extra shirts. So I know C Big asked for one. I don't have a lot of extra shirts, but we'll definitely get you taken care of.
The 2XL.
I would give you one of mine.
I got you a 2XL, bro.
Yeah, no one's fitting into what I got.
Yeah. Paul
Yeah,
got
no.
a medium.
Yeah, I got a medium.
But listen,
that
thank
actually
you.
would be the perfect fit.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. We did run a little late today. I thought we had some good topics, good show.
That was good. I
Thank you
enjoyed
guys for dropping in tonight. Appreciate it. As usual, we'll see you next Thursday.
Cheers. Yep. Have a good one. Keep watching.